and Sandringham, big for the home team today. If they want the double chance, they need to get a win over Sandringham this morning. Teams getting into position. Peter Mercado alongside Michael Leeds in the commentary box, and down at ground level, the ground and weather conditions, it is our man Glenn Hill, who's loving the sunshine today.
Yeah, thanks Pete, and thanks Leedsy. It's a fantastic day for football, and we talked to Jared Rivers before, and he was so happy to be out of the freezing cold. The last 5 or 6, 7 weeks have just been really hard winter weather, and we couldn't ask for a better day today. It's going to be about 19 degrees. The ground's in rock hard condition, a little bit patchy in certain spots. There's no wind to speak of whatsoever, so it's completely fair at both ends of the ground, and I think we're in for a really good contest.
Yeah, well, we hope so. Thank you, Hilly, keeping us up to date with everything that's happening at boundary level. This half of Peter Jackson VFL Live is for the Braybrook Hotel, the best Palmers in town, and scoreboard for Tyre Power. Get the power of expert advice at Tyre Power. I don't know whether you welcome along if you're watching us through vfl.com.au or listening on SEN Plus on 1377. Let's get this final round underway. So much to play for on this Super Saturday. It's Collingwood and Sandringham.
Lynch and McLean in the middle. McLean just got it back, but couldn't find a teammate. Just over the head there of Caulfield. Jock comes in to lend a hand for Solos there at ground level. Plenty of players around him. Clark had it, lost it, got it again. Toe poked it forward. It's funneled out the back to Lynch. Got it to Hellier for the Pies. And they're inside the 50 straight away with a high ball. Some courage needed there and provided. Well played. That's Phillips, who was the second man in. Read it nicely. Works it across to Goddard, who goes via hand. He's going to put himself under the pump here. Goddard good enough to get away from the Jock tackle. Got it away to Phillips. Handball off the half-back flank from Seckel. Works it down the wing, and they've got control.
They have on that outer side. The crowd building up nicely too. Hayden McLean's got it out there. Told to get on with it by the umpire on centre wing. He kicks up towards half forward. Big pack of players here as they work their way through. Plenty of numbers around the footy on that outer side. Eventually spills out Hayden. The kick inside the 50 is deep into the pocket, and it hits the behind posts. And it wasn't on the full, so it'll be a throw in right next to the behind post for Sandringham. No scorers yet on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Get the power of expert advice at Tyre Power. So, a lot of milling around, as you would expect. Rucks go at it. Lamb doing the ruck work for Sandringham. Plenty of numbers though for the Pies, but they do need to be clean. Trying to ride the tackle there was Will. Still managed to get it away. Now they've got some open space up the corridor. Just got to find the outlet pass. They can't. Lynch the kick, going into the middle of the ground. Jock's got to be good, but at the back, nicely done. Claverino takes it. Sandringham looking to recover.
McLean took the handball away from him and headed to the outer side where Caulfield takes the mark. Centre wing, little looping handball over the top to the run of Goddard under pressure from Brown. Needed to get away and did. He found his man Weikart, who comes around the corner. He's going to have his kick fisted over the line from Bailey and Goldsack, and they will toss it back in. Slightly attacking side of centre wing for the Pies. Nice crowd just wandering in, as you mentioned, Pete. Well, no footy for Pies fans with the team across against the Dockers tomorrow.
Today,
this afternoon, I should say. It's all this before 12 stuff. It's got me a little lost. This ball's going to be tossed up half forward flank.
We're not usually morning operators. This is a new experience for us.
It's a nice way to be greeted, though, it must be said. Beautiful sunshine here at Victoria Park. Lynch got it down. Found Hellier. His kick smothered. Chance for Phillips to get on the end of it. Well tackled though by Tardrew. Ball spilled for Fasolo. He came across the Hoare. Down the line. Jock just had it knocked away. It was a little high for him. Now good one-on-one on the wing. The cavalry arrives though for the visitors. Canellan gets onto that left boot and sends them to half forward. Can they find a man? Dunstan on the bouncing ball. Little handball over the top. Weikart with another handball to Zilla. Back inboard to Dunstan. He can straighten up and have a shot if he wants. The kick's on its way. It's across the face. It'll be a marker behind. And that is the first score of the afternoon on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Sandringham lead it 1-0.
Yeah, Hayden was going back with the flight there, but Hilly Dunstan, he looked around to try and give the ball off, but then looked and thought, oh, actually, I've got plenty of room here. I should have a shot.
Yeah, I don't think he realised the space that he did have, and then just didn't have enough penetration on the kick because he just lost momentum.
Marty Hall kicks to himself, or dangerously. He's going one way, then the other. He clears to the outer side. Again, looking for Jock. Oh, strong hands. Great mark again. I tell you what, this guy's been a revelation this season for Collingwood. His kick is a good one too. Blair at centre half back, trying to get through the traffic. He's got some outliers. Now they work it around. The opportunity, the ball spilling free to Lynch. Lynch from the middle of the ground, kicks deep inside the 50. Oh, great mark for Solo. There is a little bit of what this guy can do. Yes, he is spending a lot of time in the VFL. He doesn't want to be there, but that was a great mark under pressure.
Yeah.
Really showed his strength there, Pete. Just underneath the ball there, pushed his opponent off the ball. Really strong play from Solo.
So he's kicked 21 goals in the VFL this season. He's the equal leading goal kicker in the side with Andrew Gallucci. We'll talk about the race for Frosty at half time, but from 48 metres out, oh, he hit the post. Like a little chip kick. Got that distance, absolutely no problem, but it's like a little sort of 9-iron, Hilly.
Yeah, he tried to steer that one just a little bit and came off second best.
As we have a blood rule, I think.
We do.
Yes, just trying to work out who the player is.
Might be Zilla down there.
It is, yep. So he's come off and they've made that change, Sandringham. So that's the delay. One behind a piece. That's on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Get the power of expert advice at Tyre Power. And this half of Peter Jackson VFL Live for the Braybrook Hotel. Big screens, live sport.
And Caulfield straight down the middle for Sandringham. Can't find a marker. Tahana tries to lay some pressure. Did it pretty well in the end. They haven't given a free kick away with the handballs on at the back. Coming through to meet the footy. Bailey, well played. Got it across to Minchington. Sandringham again inside the 50. Left foot kick held up nicely. That was a nice strong mark from Cameron, the 23rd man, who just held it across half back. He gives the handball that releases Tardrew, heads to the wing, and that's nicely taken by Dacos. They want to play on quickly. This is a good game early. Handball across the top, asking Hellier to go to work. He does on his left boot, steers it into the path of Crocker, who takes it on his chest. Just two in from the boundary. He'll kick from just inside the arc on the outer side of Victoria Park. This will take some kicking.
We'll keep constantly going around the grounds as well today. At Whitten Oval in particular, important one. Port Melbourne, 1 straight 6. Footscray yet to score 2 minutes into the opening quarter there.
Crocker gets boot to ball. He hit it pretty sweetly just across the face, and there's a collision between the goal umpire and Hugh Goddard. Everyone gets up. They're ready to go again. 2-1. It's the Pies in front on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Early going.
Big size mismatch there with Goddard and the goal umpire.
Yeah, yes. So you could tell who came out second best there, but nothing in that, nothing sinister anyway. Limits has it. At half back, his kick, oh, it's been smothered. Here's the turnover, a chance for Hellier. The kick going long, oh no, missed the target, and Hill takes the mark for Sandringham. Not our Glenn Hill, Jackson Hill. The handball over the top, Claverino's got it. He goes with a short ball up towards centre wing. Just can't keep the ball inside the field of play, and we'll have it thrown in. Ray Cannellan trying to track down that ball. He fumbled at the crucial moment, and on centre wing we'll have this ball tossed in front of a crowd that's building. It is free entry here at Victoria Park, so if you are around the area listening to us on 1377 or watching through vfl.com.au, come down, because some magnificent grounds. And I think they've got the hot water turned on, not like the old days for the opposition teams. Anyway, free kick advantage for the Pies as Brown, long ball inside 50. It's 2-on-1 in favour of Sandringham. Defenders just trying to hang on. Off a solo, pick the pocket though. Handball out, Crocker, he threw that. Just tackled at the crucial moment. Good defensive pressure from Sandy, and they're away again, only temporarily though.
Gee, they put themselves under the pump. Caulfield quickly away. That's okay to Lomitz, but unfortunately they were just under too much pressure from the moment they had the footy, and Brown takes it 50 out. This is Cal. Right in front of our commentary position. He's 15 in from the boundary line. He'll have to kick from on the 50. Hilly, you reckon he's a chance?
Yeah, I think he kicked the distance from here. I know he's setting it up.
He sets it to the top of the square. Big fly. There's plenty of fists out the back. Hill first there. Read it nicely. Got it to Verma. Heads away onto the outer flank. Can he get a mark? No. Tahana did well to knock it back inboard. Had some support in Smith. And Smith just knocked off the footy. That was strong stuff from Sandringham. Came out the back. Hayden gets on the end of it. They've played it nicely. Little retreating handball back to Verma. He's going to go on his right boot. He heads down the line. Lamb has it fisted away. Now some work for Hayden to do. Got it back to Lamb. Retreats further. Bailey around the corner to half forward, but Smith takes the mark for the Pies.
And wants to go on to across half back. Collingwood will put this one straight into the corridor. On the end of it was Borthwick. Good to see him in this side as they've got the overlap running going. The kick inside 50 is another good one, and they're just lining up here. And if it's not one forward, it's the other. Andrew Gallucci takes the mark. And the race for the leading goal kicker in the Collingwood VFL team is very much on. Gallucci has 21 goals like Alex Fasolo. A chance to kick the first for both himself and the side today. He'll line up, and the man on the mark is walking his way in, but Gallucci kicks from 48 metres out. It's on the way to goal. First on the board for the Pies. 22nd of the season for Andrew Gallucci. He's been a handy pickup too for Collingwood. And on the Tyre Power scoreboard, get the power of expert advice at Tyre Power. Collingwood 1-8, Sandringham 1 behind. We're midway through the opening quarter, and this half of Peter Jackson VFL Live for the Braybrook Hotel, the best Palmers in town.
Excellent start for Collingwood. They're totally on top in terms of ball movement at the moment. Sandringham, you just felt that last couple of minutes. We're just hanging in there, defending well, but unfortunately finally leaked one. So Pies on top. Just a boundary injury update. James Ziller just gone into the rooms to just get that blood attended to.
Thank you, Hilly. Around the grounds, 1-1-7 apiece. 8 minutes played in the opening quarter. Port Melbourne and Footscray.
11 gone here. Some concerning signs, I reckon, for Sandringham as that ball came out. They're working hard again across half-back. Collingwood. Brown found Smith. Kicked as he was being pushed in the back. Phillips got in the way, wanted to square them up. Sandringham, this is Seckel, heads across to the outer side. Verma's going to be there. No, just allowed it for his teammate to come in. They head to the pocket. That's a nice kick, finds Lamb. And that was very neat from Kai Owens, who's done a couple of nice things. So Lamb to take the shot from 10 in from the boundary line, just inside the paint, I reckon, when he kicks the footy. Fair to say they need this. I know it's only 1-2 to 1 behind, but the ball is exiting very quickly. Lamb's kick is away to the right, and that's 1 behind. So 2 behinds to 1-2 on the Tyre Power scoreboard. The Pies in front as we tick into the 12-minute mark of the opening term. So
at half-time, we'll go through what every match basically today means in terms of finals positions, because every game today is something riding on it. Super Saturday in the Peter Jackson VFL. Long kick out. Lynch flew, couldn't take the mark. Off hands, trying to work his way through. There's plenty of numbers here for the Pies. Blair managed to shoot the handball out. Here's Cameron, the 23rd player, pushed off his kick. And it's gone out of bounds on the full. Or in fact, it's come off hands, so it was smothered over. It'll be a throw-in. Just into attack, only very slightly for Sandringham, who are kicking to the left of your screen or left of your radio dial as the ball is tossed back in. Clardy doing the ruck work for Collingwood. Seckel at the bottom of the pack. He's been a good player for Sandringham this season. The ball eventually spilling free. McLean just off a step, kicks up towards 50 for Sandringham. Owens caught at the back. Now they get the ball out. Tardrew, handball across, looking for Tahana. He's coughed it up. Minchington gets it across. Now a chance for Hill, who has a low shot at the goals and kicks it. This time they found it on the overlap. Sandy. And Hill has kicked his first of the afternoon, or the morning I should say, on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Get the power of expert advice at Tyre Power. It's Collingwood 1-8. Sandringham 1-8. Scores level here. It is a low scorer early on, but it's entertaining, this contest, Glen Hill boundary side.
Certainly is, and good reward there from Jackson Hill. He's done a couple of really nice things. Only a young player, only 19 years of age, and just working off half back and just streamed forward there, following his man into the play, and got on the end of it and delivered. Very, very good play.
Around the grounds at Whitten Oval, 3-1-19 Port Melbourne. Footscray 1-1-7, 12 minutes into the first quarter there.
Beautiful high bounce in the middle. Woodward has the footy, and they've got him. Umpire says we'll do it all again. So set to go, just slightly Sandringham's attacking side of the centre circles. Lynch won it down. Woodward just went without the footy. Clark had it and lost it. Spins around though. Went again. Did Hunter. Got it inside the 50. Lamb goes to work. Goldsack's in the vicinity. Tahana wins the footy. Got it away to Cameron, who gives it and then gets it. That was nicely played. Goes on his left boot and goes down the wing. McClarty's got a couple to beat here. Clavarino, one of them. Can he get him over the line? He's played this well. That's terrific stuff. Indicative of his year, really. All effort, isn't he? And he just won or squared off that 1v2, and they'll come in and toss it up. Half forward flank for the Pies. Lynch to go to work here on Fisher. And there's a push in the back, and it's going to go the way of Sandringham. Advantage is on. Clark goes down the line. They caught them out of position momentarily. Goldsack just went to ground. Hayden kept his feet, got it away to Lamb from the flank. He can have a flying shot on goal. It's going close. It's across the face. Can they keep it in? Deep in the forward pocket. Some strong pressure from Appleby. And they'll toss it back in. Forward pocket left for Sandy, who are playing an attacking game here. 1-2-8 apiece on the Tyre Power scoreboard. We're in the opening term. We've gone 15 minutes.
You get the power of expert advice at Tyre Power as the ball to be thrown in deep into attack here for Sandringham. And the umpire holds for a moment, then we go. Lamb getting the ball down. Woodward coming through though for the Pies, trying to extract it. Can't do so. Ball not going anywhere in a hurry. Now an opportunity for Minchington. He throws it on the left, trying to drag it back all the way to the goal line, and again trying to take the mark, Jonathan Hayden, but he's on the other side, and it goes through for a behind. 1-3-9, plays 1-2-8. Sandringham leading Collingwood on the Tyre Power scoreboard to work our way through the halfway mark of this opening term.
So the Pies with the footy. Back flank is trying to get things going is Blair. He holds and then kicks. Tardrew just clears a path for Lynch, who had it and lost it. Going to Weikart, little handball inboard. Here's Dunstan again. Longer kick this time, more penetrating. Lamb's at the back, had the sit. Oh, he couldn't quite take it. Goldsack did well to get a fist in late. It heads towards the line. They'll take it over. Appleby there again and again.
Oh, free kick.
Oh. Now, which way is this going? To the Pies, to Appleby, who goes down the line to Wellings. He's going to squeeze it down the line further, and that was nicely played for Solo. A long way from home here. He takes the mark at half back.
He does. Goes back for Matthew Smith, who goes across to Goldsack in the defensive goal square. They've switched play here, and Blair takes the mark. He's got the 23rd player, Cameron, running alongside. Ignores that, goes to Lynch on centre wing. Collingwood building again. Lynch just held up. Will decide just to go back, and they're going to reset here as Tardrew goes short again. So they've tried one way, now they're going to try the other as Appleby goes back to Goldsack again. They're inside defensive 50. Now they switch to the outer side. Smith again. He'll go with a shorter ball. Doesn't quite hit the target, but Tahana can run onto it. Gets around the traffic. Handball over the top for Wellings, who runs into a brick wall. Now manages to get the handball out. Brown just trying to pick up the footy on that outer side. They've still got control of it here, Collingwood. And now they've got a chance with the kick coming inside 50. Is going to be turned over after all that work. Jackson Hill takes the mark for Sandringham, and they can reset again. 9 plays 8, Tyre Power scoreboard midway through this opening term.
So Dunstan has it at half back for Sandringham. He's directing traffic down the line, and that's where he heads with a long ball. Lamb up, had it fisted away from the contest, and they'll toss it back in.
Around the grounds, 3-1-19 Port Melbourne, Footscray 2-1-13, 16 minutes into the opening quarter at Whitten Oval. Remembering Footscray need the win to have any chance of making the finals.
So Lynch against Fisher in this ruck contest. Last for hit-outs coming into this afternoon, or this morning I should say, for the VFL are the Pies, but Lynch has started well. He came up from Woodward to Tardrew. He lost a handle on it. Minchington worked out of the contest. And that was nice stuff from Clark, who got it away to Fisher, goes down the line. On his knees was Hoare, and he took a nice mark. He swings this by hand to Goldsack, who comes across the ground, waits it nicely. Borthwick on the end of it, coming down the line to Dacos, who might just get a bit of magic going here. Now he decides to kick and avoid having to take his man on. Wellings, little one over the top. Woodward, strong stuff. Likewise, Lamb allowed to go on. Borthwick's at the bottom of the pack. Dunstan's got him. The wonderful contest on the wing. And they'll toss it up. Centre wing. Really strong stuff.
Amazing that Jackson Hill's able to get up from that. He got a very heavy hit.
And Lynch and Fisher go to work on each other again. Caulfield down the line with a handball. Coming out, Zilla, who's back on the ground after having some blood taken off his face. And here's Dunstan. He goes around the corner. This is going to be turned over. Tahana takes the mark.
Yeah, strong there. Tahana beating plenty in this opening quarter. Peter Jackson VFL Live as the kick goes up the line. Lynch is just trying to create the contest and did well. They got the spill. Now an opportunity again for the Pies as they go up the line. Coming in, trying to take that mark was Wills, but there at the back, Lomitz, they've got the numbers. Cook, steady hands, kicks to centre half back, and the switch might be on here. Ed Phillips has it. Still inside defensive 50, now kicking outside defensive 50. It's a dangerous ball. Claverino to come onto it, but they've turned it over. Fasolo has to wait. His kick is smothered as it dribbles inside 50, but it falls to Jock, who gets around the traffic. Might dodge again. Little bouncing footy. It's going to not beat the initial pack. He went low. He should have gone high. Lomitz was there as the quarterback. Across to Mike Cook. His handball not quite finding the target, and it goes over. We'll have it thrown in. Oh, it was building to almost goal of the year proportions from Jock there, Hilly.
It certainly was. He's such an exciting player. He moves so well in traffic, and yeah, I'm sure there'll be a few AFL scouts watching him very closely over the next few weeks.
This half of Peter Jackson VFL Live for the Braybrook Hotel, big screens, live sport.
20 gone on the Type House scoreboard. It's Sandy by a point, but only momentarily from deep in the pocket. A little dribbler end over end job. Didn't quite get the right part of the footy on the end part.
Which end?
Yeah, the wrong end. It's one behind. 9 apiece on the Type House scoreboard. Sandringham bring the footy back in.
There we go, all ends up. Anyway, ball now has made its way into the middle of the ground. Here's Noon, who's got an acre of space along the wing. He's got some support. He's going to get the footy back. Good 1-2 play there from the 23rd player. But now they've run into trouble, and this is a problem. As Verma managed to get it back out. This time we'll try again. The little chipping ball from the 23rd player, Sofronides. Here's a dangerous one. They still managed to get it to the 50. Kick inside 50 from Caulfield goes high, but it's going to be turned over again. Lynch takes the mark for Collingwood and sets them running on that outer side. Tardrew thought about going, then had to. He kicks up the line and finds Jock. Jock's got it, half-back, outer side, here at Victoria Park this morning. We'll go around the ground soon too, as his kick's going to be intercepted. And coming in to take it is Hugh Goddard for Sandy.
He squares them off through the middle of the ground. Caulfield handball made Clark work. A wonderful chase down tackle. Terrific stuff from Dacos. Oh, it's not Dacos, it's Gallucci. My apologies, I sold him short there. He never gave up on it. And he takes the kick quickly and finds Wills through the middle of the ground. They just held up for a moment. As Wills going to square them off. Smith comes further afield. This is to Brown of the Tyler variety. He's going to go down the line. Thought about the option short, but ignored Hetherington. And he goes across the ground here to Smith. Handball locator Hall. Outer side of the ground. And they've played it nicely for Appleby. Can they find a target? No. It's Seckel who comes up with the footy. Gives it to Weikart. Oh, his handball no good. Straight to Jock. Away to Tardrew. Turnover might cause some havoc here. Crocker's a chance. Did he get pushed in the back? Nope. They'll toss it in.
Around the grounds, 4-1-25 Port Melbourne. Footscray, 2-2-14. 20 minutes played in the opening quarter at Whitten Oval.
So deep in the pocket here. 139 apiece on the Type House scoreboard. Collingwood attacking. Going for a top 4 spot today as Wills plays a good tackle. Ball spills for Phillips. His kick's rushed, but okay for Caulfield, who quickly goes to Verma. Down the line go Sandringham. Out the back, Appleby read it nicely.
Yep, just mopping it up is Appleby. His kick finds Woodward in the middle of Victoria Park. He goes across the ground to Dacos. He'll find Jock, and they switch from the outer side to the broadcast side. And that was effortless. Now they're held up. So Jock just has to go short. Oh, Dacos was trying to put himself into a good position. Had to take it on the half volley, and there's a high tackle here. Sandringham getting to the ball first, and Weikart will take the free kick. Half back, right near Glenn Hill, who's boundary side today for us on Peter Jackson VFL Live. Kick over the top. Goddard takes the mark. Beautiful sunny day as the kick goes back to Noon. who's inside defensive 50, got the handball. They're just struggling to get this ball out, and now they do. Caulfield's got it pretty much from where we started. At defensive 50, the kick will be short. Cook pressing up the ground here, the Collingwood defence. It means Cook's got no one to kick to up the ground. Called to play on by the umpire. Goes to Weicup by hand. Now back to Cook. They generate some run, and the kick goes up towards half forward. 2-on-2 contest. It's out though. Ball fell right into the hands of Ziller. He didn't realise where the boundary line was, but the boundary umpire did, and we'll have it thrown in. Into attack here for Sandringham. Tyre Power scoreboard. Get the power of expert advice at Tyre Power. It's 139 apiece. Collingwood and Sandringham, and this half of Peter Jackson VFL Live for the Braybrook Hotel, the best Palmers in town.
24 gone opening term, and we're at half forward for Sandringham. They're going nowhere quickly. A lot of possessions, Hilly, for not much score so far.
Yeah, and there has been some great ball movement throughout the quarter. It just hasn't been finished off with goals. So I'm sure that'll come throughout this game. Just at the moment, it's very tight.
So we're in the middle. McLean did well, got it down, but Dacos is there first for the Pies. He comes to half forward, but he's going to turn it over. And Noon is there to take the mark.
Underlining the importance of communication there, Leedsy, because otherwise he would have clattered into his teammate.
Yeah, there were three of them. All waiting for it. He's going to come up with the footy again here, Noon, from Seckle. He takes a bounce across his defensive arc, and he steers this ball nicely to the path of Claverino, who has it in the back pocket for Sandringham. Crowd still rolling in here. Free entry, and plenty of people taking it up and enjoying what they're seeing. Smith got in the way. Handball away to Brown. That was Cal. Little chip at ball over the top of the intended target was Wills. It's toe poke to the 50. Smith comes into lender hand. Wills is strong over the footy. Did really well. Got it away to Crocker, who misses. Shouldn't really be any reason why it's a difficult day to score goals. Beautiful conditions, but nonetheless another behind for the Pies. 10-9, they lead by a point.
Oh, this is horrible here again from Sandringham. Dunstan under pressure, kicks it out to Noon. He fumbles the footy as well. Defensive 50, and then taken crudely out of the contest. And the umpire coming in immediately and saying, Alex Woodward, that was well after the footy had disappeared. Still sending the message. Noon back to Caulfield. Still not sure which way he wants to go here, Caulfield. Back to the defensive goal square we go. Again, Hilly just repeating, no breeze today. Perfect conditions for footy.
It's amazing conditions for footy, in fact.
Yeah, well, they shouldn't be struggling too much, but it's defensive pressure here of the Pies that's causing all the trouble. McLean trying to get that handball out for Sandringham. They eventually turn it over. Here's Woodward near the boundary line. He squares up a ball looking for Jock, who gets the handball out. Now an opportunity for Brown. He has a shot and kicks the goal. Callum Brown, his sixth goal of season 2018. And the Pies put themselves back in front. They are 2-4-16, playing 1-3-9. That's on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Get the power of expert advice at Tyre Power. This half of Peter Jackson VFL Live for the Braybrook Hotel. Big screens, live sports.
Yeah, Sandringham have defended so well throughout this quarter, and that's held Collingwood up. They've probably been the better team, Collingwood, and been on top for large portions, but haven't been able to get the reward on the scoreboard. Around
the grounds, 26 minutes played, 5-2-32 Port Melbourne, Footscray 2-2-14. Little Reds getting the goal. Missed him last week.
There was a pool of sadness as we arrived at the ground.
I almost turned around and went home.
Yes. Had my concerns. Here's Woodward's going to start in the middle here. Recently started a finance company, and he's going to come up with the footy here as he goes via hand to Dacos. Might end up with it again. No, handball chopped off. Well played, Clark. Comes back to Woodward, who kept tracking the footy. Got it across to McClarty. Little left foot kick. High ball for Blair. Not really where he wanted it. Spilt free for Lynch, though. He steers a low ball to Fasolo. Wonderful pick up on the half volley, but his kick isn't up to his usual standards. It's across the face. 17-9 at quarter time on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Get the power of expert advice at Tyre Power. 2-5, 17-139 at quarter time.
let's go through the goal kickers to quarter time here at Victoria Park. And for Collingwood, it is Brown and Gallucci. And for Sandringham, Jackson Hill has their solitary goal. And that on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Get the power of expert advice at Tyre Power. Hilly's getting into the huddles. And, well, plenty to talk about, plenty happening around the place as well, because not only are we keeping an eye on Port Melbourne and Footscray for the result, but also the race for Frosty, the leading goal kicker in the Peter Jackson VFL, is on too. And hearing that it's a race in two. It's Larky and Lyle, and both playing today. Lyle's got 2 behinds, we believe, over at Whit Noble. We'll talk more about that on the other side of the break. We'll get inside the huddles as well. It's a good day for footy. It's a good contest, this one. It's a very close opening quarter. Back with the second quarter next. This is Peter Jackson, VFL Live.
The new early exit to English Street from Buller Road on the Tulla Freeway is now open. Take the Buller Road exit for English Street. Plan your journey at citylinktullawidening.vic.gov.au.
Hello. Frank Walker from nationaltiles.com.au. Right now at National Tiles, pay just $24.95 for on-trend subway tiles. That's right, not $50, just $24.95 per metre. But only at National Tiles. That's a massive 50% saving on average market price for on-trend subway tiles. Rush into National Tiles now or go online at nationaltiles.com.au and save.
The Toyota Good for Footy round has helped raise much needed money for local clubs around Australia, like the Northern Saints, a footy club that strives to provide an inclusive environment for everyone. Thanks to Toyota, they raised $4,000 and are using it to help keep membership costs low and kickstart their very first girls program. Now that's good for footy. Toyota, oh what a feeling.
If you downloaded Radio app, you'd never miss a beat. Get breaking news that's rocked the world or gossip from the street. 250 Aussie stations gathered on your phone. Hear all your faves in one place. Now that's a milestone. If you downloaded Radio app, you'd recognise each song, because it's written right there on your screen, so you'll never get it wrong. So go on, pull your finger out and do it right away. Find it at the App Store or search at Google Play. Radio app. Your radio, wherever you are.
And the Golden Crumb goes to Papa Schnitz.
I don't know what to say. The Golden Crumb Award to be given Australia's greatest schnitzel making owner, it's amazing. And thank you, Australia, for your love our hand crumb, pan-cooked schnitzels. You are truly the crumbs in our schnitz.
Dad, wake up.
Dad.
What, huh?
You're daydreaming again. Well, boys, all great things start with a dream. A golden crumb-covered dream.
Stop dreaming and get into your local schnitz today.
Hi, I'm Jared Conroy, founder of Prana Energy Commercial Solar. Every day I talk to Australian businesses that are really feeling the pain of skyrocketing power prices hitting their bottom line. In the last decade, Prana Energy has become one of Australia's most trusted solar and electrical companies. My mandate as the founder of Prana Energy is to give back control to Australian businesses by reducing power bills and operating costs. For solar or battery storage solutions, contact us at Prana Energy. That's prana energy.com.au.
Chasing a lift to the airport but need to sweeten the deal? Book online and get 1 hour at Terminal T123 parking for $5. Or for the perfect pick-me-up, get 1 hour terminal parking plus 2 coffees for just $10. And 1 day terminal parking is still only $51. Cheaper than a taxi to and from the city. For warmer welcomes, proper goodbyes and everything in between, Melbourne Airport Parking is here to get you there. Subject to availability, see melbourneairport.com.au to book online and for T's and C's.
We can move the world for you, Camerons can do.
We marvel at the icons in sport, like the great feats of the Mayor Winks. It sure takes a lot of can-do attitude to reach those heights. Next time you're on the roads, look out for the iconic Camerons Can-Do yellow trucks. There's now over 1,000 trucks in the Camerons fleet nationwide. By living and breathing the can-do philosophy each day, it's no wonder Camerons keeps Australia moving.
We can move the world for you, Camerons can do.
Camerons.com.au.
Peter Jackson, VFL Live, VFL.com.au.
Beautiful day for football at Victoria Park, and it is quarter time here. 2-5-17 Collingwood, Sandringham 1-3-9. Peter Mikado, Michael Leeds and Glenn Hill with you. Hilly down there outside the Sandringham huddle. And we'll get some news from there in just a few moments. We'll also give you a quarter-time score from over at Whitten Oval, but Port Melbourne is in front, and we're keeping eye on live ladders. There's all sorts of things. It's like a situation room, I'm imagining, at Visy Park at the moment, or Icon Park, with the AFL Victoria staff keeping up to date with everything that's going on. So as the live ladder stands at the moment, obviously Collingwood, with the result at the moment, notionally in 4th position. We're going to explain all of this at halftime because we need a good 10 minutes, I think, to go through it all. And Port Melbourne obviously sitting in 7th position, Footscray still missing out. So look, we'll keep you up to date with that. We'll explain how each of the matches kind of fits together on this Super Saturday. And don't forget, we've got you covered throughout the 2018 Peter Jackson VFL Final Series as well on 1377 SEN Plus. And also VFL.com.au. We'll have all of our broadcast details, everything like that. You'll find all that information VFL.com.au, hopefully by about 7 o'clock tonight. But if not, definitely during the week as they get out of the huddle here. The Pies, good crowd around them. Sandy Huddle just breaking up as well. Down to you, Hilly.
Yeah, thanks, Pete. Just joined by Aaron Hamill, and it was a really solid defensive start to the game, and just looking to obviously get a few more goals on the board.
Yeah, it was defensively we were okay. Our backs, certainly our ball use wasn't probably where we wanted, mate, which played into their hands a fair bit. We know how they play with their run and carry. So, look, we need to tidy our use up, but from a defensive point of view, we were reasonable.
And certainly the pressure was there. It was a big tick.
Yeah, look, we expect that. We expect our pressure and effort to be there. So, yeah, hopefully it continues.
No worries. Thanks again for your time on VFL Live.
Beautifully done. Thank you, Hilly, there. Aaron Hamill, and first season at the helm of the Sandringham side. He's been part of the St Kilda setup for a while now, but he's certainly developing as a coach, despite the results not coming necessarily this season, but there's a whole range of different factors for that. By the way, it is the Peter Jackson VFL Love the Game Final Series. Got to get that right. So many sponsors on board. We love having all of them as well, including the Braybrook Hotel, because this half of Peter Jackson VFL Live is for the Braybrook Hotel. Big screens, live sport. And on the Tyre Power scoreboard, 2-5-17 Collingwood, 1-3-9 is Sandringham. And we'll bring you scores. Quarter time over at Whitten Oval. It's Port Melbourne 5-5-35, Footscray 2-2-14. No goals for Lyle yet in the race for Frosty.
There's a free kick here, going to go the way of Sandringham in the middle of the ground, was called by the umpire off the back of the square. So McLean takes it, the first possession of the second quarter with Sandringham, not a good one. Dacos can go to work on this near wing. He's got to get himself out of trouble here. Oh, he can't, and that was a big tackle. He gets up though, no problems there. And he's going to contest this next footy. Phillips, one of those men responsible for a strong set to this start of the second term. Here's Smith to Dacos. 2 to beat, 3 to beat now. Did it nicely. Little handball out the back. That's going to come to Appleby from Hetherington. He goes down the line. Still looking for a contest here. The Pies worked off it. That was strong stuff from Dunstan. Good win for Sandringham. He comes away to Caulfield, who's looked enterprising. This kick's just asked a lot here of Canellan, and he goes to work against Tor. Bounce of the ball, no good for Canellan. This is a good old-fashioned one-on-one. Canellan just toe-poked it forward, but no good. Goldsack read it nicely, picked up the bouncing ball. The kick down the line for Collingwood is good, and Jock is on the end of it. He's got Woodward inboard, he ignores that. Looking to set a more direct route to home. He's going to go towards the arc, and it's going to be chopped off. Gee, Caulfield started this game nicely. Takes the mark in front of McClarty.
Yeah, he's just got no one to kick to, though. He looks ahead and sees a whole bunch of one-on-ones. The kick going long and high. Front position for Lamb. He couldn't take the mark. There is a free kick called by the trailing umpire. And which way is it going? It's going the way of Sandringham. So there was an arm sort of being pulled down there. So Lamb's got it. He's right on centre wing. His kick going long and high. And Mitchington comes out, takes the mark. He's 60 from goal. He's tight on the boundary line, though, on that outer side. And again, just being held up. They just can't get that ball moving quickly, Sandringham. So the kick goes long and high. They fly from all directions. Dacos at the back needs to be clean. Managed to get the handball out. They're still under pressure here, the Pies. They're in all sorts of trouble. Still managed to get the handball out, but it's only temporary as the ball heads over the line. Good pressure. This is a good contest, this one. right involved. Bo Bailey there for Sandringham. Picks himself up. It's 2-5-17 on the Tyre Power scoreboard, Collingwood. 1-3-9 Sandringham. Handy lead at quarter time for Port Melbourne over Footscray. It's all happening today. Super Saturday in the Peter Jackson VFL as we've got a quick kick out of the pack from Minchington. It's going to miss. 1-4-10 Sandringham. 2-5-17 Collingwood. That's on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Get the power of expert advice at Tyre Power.
I think we're about 2 in here. Pete to the second term as the footy comes to the back pocket for Appleby. Getting muster here. They've defended the ground pretty well, Sandringham. Has Lynch. He's going to go up against McLean. Strong stuff from McClarty, but really, really good set of hands from Hayden McLean, who takes the mark, and he's going to drive this high inside the 50. Underneath it, Hall, but Lamb flew high, but just didn't read it. Or did. Came to ground and got the handball away to Smith, who goes to Wellings. He heads to the outer side. Now some work for Gallucci to do here on Fisher. He takes it to the line and they'll toss it back in. Nice way to spend the morning here. In the sun on the outer side.
Even better on this side if you're sort of roaming the boundary, Hilly.
Yeah, very pleased to be in the sun this week, Pete, and obviously a lot better conditions than Stonyface last week.
I think he's only just recovered from the hypothermia.
For all those wanting an update, he is out of hospital. Handball over the top. Hellier quickly away to Blair. Retreats by hand to Woodward. His kick smothered. Now the pressure's starting to rise here from Sandringham. Good stuff, Zilla. Got it away to McLean. Handball just a little too much for Seckle. Noon. And he's forced over by Jock. They'll toss it back in. A couple of those little skill errors, Silly, that Aaron Hamill was talking about.
Yeah, and they're coming from Collingwood's pressure. Collingwood's pressure around the ball is quite intense, and Sandringham are turning it over as a result.
Lynch and McLean. I reckon McLean's just started to even up the contest in this second term. It's knocked grounds, and he goes to work again, McLean. Well played. Found Dunstan out the back, who gets it to Phillips. Done a couple of nice things already, and he's going to come towards our commentary side of the ground. He's going to ask a bit here of his teammates. For Solo's got to go to work. It's a one-on-one with Hayden as they work towards the line. Hayden kept it in. Did he? No. It's over. They'll toss it back in. It might have been a scoop, but I reckon he was over the line before it took place. So they'll toss it back in. Half forward flank. And the Tyre Power scoreboard 17-10. It's the Pies in front. 3.5 gone in the second term.
So the ball about to be tossed back in. Nicely done by the boundary umpire. I reckon they'll be loving the conditions today as well, as Phillips picked it up for Sandringham, got it across Dunstan. The kick inside 50 is a good one. It is a good one. Lamb comes out and takes the mark. Line up directly in front from 40, maybe 35 metres out.
He's presented really well today, Tom Lamb, and gets an opportunity here to get a well-needed goal on the board for Sandringham.
So Lamb, he's got 18 goals heading into this game in the Peter Jackson VFL. He has a shot, and it's good. He's kicked the goal. There's a smattering of Sandringham/St Kilda supports here. Lamb gets his first on the board, and well, Sandringham doing a nice job here early on in this second quarter. And it is 2-5-17 Collingwood, 2-4-16 Sandringham. As we work our way through the early stages of this second quarter, it's on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Get the power of expert advice at Tyre Power. And this half of Peter Jackson VFL Live for the Braybrook Hotel. Big screens, live sport.
Yeah, it was a really well set up goal there for Sandringham, and good lead from Tom Lamb, and he has presented really well, so good reward for him.
Plenty of space that his team afforded him in that forward 52. Hilly, we'll come back to in a moment. Canellan wins it in the middle. He got it away to Hayden, who retreats to Dunstan, 60 from home. Heads inside the 50 though. Verma has it fisted away. Good stuff from Hetherington as it goes towards the line. Verma knocks it towards the Tyre Power scoreboard. And legally, said the umpire, they'll toss it back in. 1 point the difference. Just wonder if the Pies haven't taken the foot off slightly here. I'm sure Jared Rivers will be thrilled with the start to this second term as umpire tosses it back in. Lynch down to Wills, back to Lynch. He was taken off his toe. Yep, that's a throw.
Ooh.
And the tackle to be rewarded.
He fumbled it, Hilly, there, but I thought he threw it too.
Okay. Yeah, I was just on a different angle there. I thought he got boot to ball.
So Clark, he's going to take the kick. He goes inside the 50, big fly, but just mistimed. Allowed to go on. Lamb still a chance. He was taken off his toes with the smother. That was good stuff from Hall. Got it away to Cameron down the line. Oh, his kick wasn't great. A chance now. Long ball inside from Lemets. Underneath it though. Oh, Tupai spoiled each other. Came to Lamb. He kicked the goal. Oh, they just weren't conversing the way they might have been. And Lamb's there to make the most of it. Sandringham hit the front.
Real lack of torque there from the Collingwood defenders. I think it might have been Woodward and Hoare.
Yep.
Both flying for the same ball. So they well and truly had it wrapped up between them, but unfortunately made a mess of it.
So the Tyre Power scoreboard, 2-5-17 Collingwood. And Sandringham out to 3-4-22, I should say. And we're just about 7 minutes in this second term. Get the power of expert advice at Tyre Power.
Ball back in the middle. We'll go around the ground shortly. They're into the second quarter at Whitten Oval, with Port Melbourne holding the advantage there. Footscray needing win to stay in the finals race. Up they go, McLean for Sandringham, notionally getting the tap down, but it's towed forward for the Pies. Up towards half forward. Cook's there though for Sandringham. He just handballs into the middle of Victoria Park. Can't really find anyone, and it's going to be wrapped up. And the umpire will come in and toss the ball up. Verma coming in there. And the umpire gets things going quickly. Lynch getting the tap down this time for Collingwood. Woodward tried to extract it. Play it down for Sandringham is Seckle. He appears to be okay. Might have just copped a little knock, but he's holding his head. And now his shoulder. I don't know if he's going to participate in this contest because the ball's right there for him. It spills out. Phillips. Now the kick for Sandringham heading forwards. Tahana just pushed the ball the wrong way. Lamb could get another one here. Quick kick out of the pack goal. He pushed it the wrong way, Tahana. And Lamb was there waiting again. Just fell into his lap. He could run on and kick and put through his third goal. Third in this quarter. They've banged on the goals here, Sandringham. Remembering, no real breeze to speak of here at Victoria Park. And they're holding the advantage. Sandy 4-4-28, Collingwood 2-5-17. And that's on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Get the power of expert advice at Tyre Power, Glen Hill.
Well, it's been a purple patch for Tom Lamb. 3 goals in 5 minutes of play, and he's on fire at the moment. And Collingwood are going to need to lock down on him. He's looked dangerous in the first quarter without a reward, but he's really turned it on here in the last 5 minutes.
So it's Sandringham in this second term. They've come out with a bit of fizz, and they're going to... Oh, strong stuff from Borthwick.
Might have a report here.
He took the footy, but as he took it, he jumped up. He had the footy in his hand when he collected his man high. It was Clark, but I'm sure that he had the ball. I'm not sure that he had too many options other than to protect himself. Ball comes to the wing. Goddard takes the mark. At the back of it is Hill. Handball back in ball to Seckle. Spills for Borthwick, who wants to make amends. He's going to go again. McClarty got it going forward, but it's all Sandringham who are going to be first back to the footy. Brown gets involved. Little toe poke. Was that on the full?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, a little stiff. Had a man there. He was just on the wrong side of the oval. And Brown is going to come up with the footy. This is Cal. Kicks a high ball inside the 50. McClarty the target. He's got a couple to beat in the air. Gallucci at ground level, dangerous. Little handball relieves some pressure momentarily. Comes out the back for Hetherington though. His kick is across the face.
This goes straight back down to you, Hilly, because Hunter Clark out of that contest, he came straight from the ground.
Yeah, he did. He's just come straight off. He's just walking up and down the sidelines at the moment. Wouldn't be surprised if he has a bloodied nose. It was definitely taken high in the contest by a forearm or even an elbow, and I'm surprised that actually wasn't a reportable offence because the player came out and raised his arm at the tackler. So,
and in the meantime, Goldsack a well-weighted kick to Blair. He'll line up and have a shot from 48 metres out. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how much game time he actually gets if he does come back on too, Hilly.
Oh, it was such a heavy knock. I wouldn't be surprised if he's certainly out for the rest of this quarter while they assess him.
Oh, now this kick's come in, looking for Fasolo. Had to take it on the half volley. Not going to get it though. Lomax picked it up. His kick up the line for Sandringham, just trying to clear the area. He kicked into open space, and the umpire says that was deliberate out of bounds. So Goldsack will take the free kick. Yeah. Lemons just tried to clear the area, but there was no one around. Owens was trying to track the ball down, but he was miles away from it. Goldsack takes the free kick for Collingwood. He's kick up the line, looking for McClarty. Almost had his arms chopped. It falls to ground. Seckel got the handball out, worked it nicely. Now they've got some space. Bailey just needs to get that ball out. They just can't get this clearing kick on centre wing. Oh, ball bounced over. Marty Hawes' head picked up there by Owens. His kick going low. Seckel's got it again in the middle of the ground. He stops, props, and now kicks off a step looking for Canellan. But player in front's going to take the mark. It's Tyler Brown who takes it. And they're away again, the Pies.
And he goes to Dacos. Pies fans enjoying that little play as Brown got it to Dacos. Jock comes back in board. Asked a lot there of Woodward. The turnover's on. A long ball inside the 50 for Sandringham. Lamb's got it again. Does he? No, couldn't take it. Picks up the loose ball. Can he spin and kick? No. Handball okay. Tackling strong from the Pies. Tyler Brown's in it amongst it again, but it's holding the footy. And just as well, Smith was there to lay that tackle. He comes back across the face to Cameron, who's going to head across the other side of the ground. Oh, Goldsack had it and lost it. Ball bounced back to him, though. Got it away to Tardrew. And he finds Crocker at half-back. Pies fans can just breathe out for a moment.
We'll go around the ground shortly. It's Crocker, half-back, on that outer side, hugging the boundary line. Goes up towards centre wing. And again, it's going to be turned over. And Hugh Goddard takes a really strong mark out there. The presence... couple of Pies players, including McClarty and Jock, and his kick goes inside the 50 for Sandy. Plenty of numbers here. Tardrew for Collingwood. Oh, he's held up in the tackle. He was 360. The umpire waits and then says, give it to me. Just inside 50 for Sandy. They're doing all the attacking here. We've played about 13 minutes in this second quarter. 4-4-28 plays 2-6-18 on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Get the power of expert advice at Tyre Power. It's Sandringham holding the advantage. Jock, came in from a long way back and flew high for that ruck contest. It ends up with Tardrew. Now the kick going out. Blair into the middle of the ground for Solo. Has to go. Oh, and he did well in the end to pick up the footy. He's got a player running alongside. It's Dacos, who can take a couple of bounces. We've seen that before. The kick inside 50, looking for Gallucci. The fist comes in, heading towards the boundary line. It'll be trapped. Here's Wills. Burns off an opponent. Now gets the handball over the top for Solo in the goal square. No, his kick partially smothered. It spills off hands, trying to get through is McClarty. He's held up by Goddard. Tackle in the goal square. Umpire says, I'll throw it up. For Solo, we just a fraction of a second earlier got that kick away. He would have the goal, but there were numbers there for Sandringham. McClarty and McLean. As the ball now spilling out. Goldsack on 50, just trying to trap it. Paddling it towards himself. Owens laying the tackle for Sandy. Still managed to get the kick away. Did really well in the end. Now an opportunity. Brown, top of the goal square. They've got another mark. And Blair will have a shot at goal. He'll only be about 20 metres out. Pretty much directly in front. She'll put this through for Collingwood.
Great spot-up kick there from Callum Brown. Saw Blair, top of the goal square. Should be a certainty.
Well, we've said that before. You know about that commentator's curse? Well, it's not in play now. And Jared Blair gets his first of the afternoon. And the Pies, it's a little bit of a steadier. It's been all Sandringham in the first half of this second quarter. 4-4-28 is the away team. And Collingwood's moving now to 3-6-24. That's on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Get the power of expert advice at Tyre Power in this half of Peter Jackson VFL Live for the Braybrook Hotel. Big screens, live sports. Around the grounds, 12 minutes into the second quarter. It is Port Melbourne 6-5-41 leading Footscray 2-2-14.
They needed that, Hilly.
They certainly did. And Sandringham had a great start to the quarter, so they definitely needed a steadier just to get back, get a little bit of power back into this contest.
Jock's gone to the middle. He contested the rucker, came out the back. Tardrew, nicely done. This is Brown just carving his way through. Callum, right outside of the right boot, beat the contest. Gallucci had it and lost it out the back. Hill, well played, got it away to Noon, to Goddard. Little chip is okay to Fisher, and he's got it 48 out from his defensive goal. Clark's calling for it, despite the fact that he's in a nest of magpies. Good to see him back out on the ground. As Sandringham come away through Cook Nicely done to Lomitz, who's going to drive this down the ground. Hayden might have been pushed in the back. Umpire said keep going, and he does. And he tracks the footy. If he can get it knocked onto him, he can. Oh, Tahana did well, though. He was tossed into the turf by his mate there, Hayden, who went again on Brown. Geez, providing some strong contest here is Hayden. He's still burrowing in. Tahana got a hold of him and said enough. You've been going for too long. And they'll toss it up right in front of our commentary position here. But if you thought this was a dead rubber for Sandringham, Hayden's having none of it. Here's McLean in the ruck. Handball over the top for Seckle. Around the body. Hall's got a dodgy bouncing ball to contend with. Did well. Got the handball to Tahana. They're out of trouble.
Oh, might be only temporarily for Appleby. They've shifted from one side of the ground to the other. Wellings kicks a long ball outside the 50. Jock's got to get it on the bounce. He does. Handball over the top. Crocker running alongside. He takes a bounce at Victoria Park on the outer side. He runs his full measure, then kicks inside the 50 and turns it over. So another build-up stopped here by Sandy. Weikart has it. Inside defensive 50. Wants to switch, so we'll go backwards and across to Sean Fisher. His kick up the line now finds McLean. So the switch from the outer side to our broadcast side here at Victoria Park. But there's nothing on. So we're going to do it all again back in that sequence. The kick goes across the ground and it ends up with Goddard. Goddard kicks up the line. Now they've found some space temporarily on that outer side. Lomitz comes up to provide the option on the handball. They've got the overlap going here, the Zebras. This is big build-up, and now another option. Oh, no, it's been turned over. Tardrew, he coughed it up again. It's an untidy footy, but it might just work here for the Zebras. Zilla, handball back. Lomitz off a step. He kicks inside the 50. Oh, and takes the mark. Did well in the end. And here we'll go back and have a shot here. Owens, he really just looking around to maybe give the ball off. Now decides he's going to have the kick. So the man on the mark is Tyson Goldsack, and he's around 25 out. So this is a tough kick, despite the fact there's no breeze. Coming in from the boundary line. The kick is high. Oh, that's a great kick. No problem at all. What am I talking about? Degree of difficulty? No, forget about it. So Owens gets his first of the morning/afternoon. We're almost at the afternoon, aren't we?
4 minutes away, Pete.
Thank you. 3:06:24 is Collingwood. And Sandringham, as I wait for our manual scoreboard. I love seeing a manual scoreboard. They move on to 5:4:34. That's on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Get the power of expert advice at Tyre Power. This half of Peter Jackson VFL Live for the Braybrook Hotel, the best Palmers in town. And we've got 7:6:48 Port Melbourne. Footscray 3:2:20. 17 played second quarter over at Whitten Oval. And in about 2 minutes' time, Essendon and the Northern Blues will go at it at Windy Hill. Essendon need the win to, well, be in that mix for the final 8th place.
Clark gets it going inside the 50. Strong stuff. Or takes the mark. And he's going to go with his left boot and finds his man, Appleby, who's come back from a sore hamstring, and he's heading to the outer side to Wellings, who takes it just a metre in from the line, but that's okay. Fair to say, the Pies don't look like a side that are absolutely hell-bent on a top 4 position so far this morning. They drive this down the line, and it's going to be chopped off by Caulfield, who's had a good day so far.
Just lacking some marking targets going forward at the moment, the Pies. So quite a few times getting into that centre-half forward position, just lacking somebody to kick to who can take a big mark.
Here's Hoare, takes the mark and finds Dacos in the back pocket. Be good to see him take his man on here. He decides to kick. In fact, that's a beautifully weighted kick for Borthwick. Didn't have to break stride there, Gus, and he's got it at half back. Introduced himself courtesy of a massive hit in the middle of the ground. He might turn it over here. Woodward had to go to work on. Dacos is there to clean it up. Just picks it up in the one hand if you don't mind. Nicely done. Mopped it up beautifully. And then they've got it in the middle of the ground through Wellings, who's going to drive it. Takes the direct route but can't get a mark. Noon at the back. Well played. And Sandringham again chop it off in the air.
Probably fitting. What's the time at the moment, Leedsy? As the kick goes short. Trying to find some way to work that in. Now it's a longer ball. It's a deep ball. Muddy Hall's got to go back with the flight. Lamb is there. Off hands. Owens. Bouncing footy. Bouncing. Through for a behind. 5:35 is Sandringham. 3:6:24 Collingwood. So we've ticked into time on in this second quarter. It's on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Get the power of expert advice at Tyre Power. This half of Peter Jackson VFL Live for the Braybrook Hotel. Big screens, live sport.
Oh, strong stuff from Lynch on the outer side. Goldsack picked his mark and got it. Fisher just gave him a bit of attention, so Lynch not all that happy with the late contact. He's got the footy at half back though. No 50. He's going to drive this towards Jock, who's got 2 to beat in the air again. It's punched out the back. McLean on McClarty, and they'll toss it in. We'll call it all square. Just about centre wing. Collingwood trailing on the Tyre Power scoreboard, 24-35. Get the power of expert advice at Tyre Power. Lynch going to work in the ruck, knocked it down. Quick kick forward for the Pies. Goddard goes to work on McClarty. Goddard wins the day. Handball back to Noon. We're getting close up, Pete. And little one no good though. McClarty got in the way. Around the corner. Crocker smothered the footy in front of him. Gave it away. Little round the corner job. Almost a bit of magic. Not quite. Not quite. Might be a bit of discussion at home on just how that end-over-end job works from the pocket. Takeoff's the man who took the shot. 25-35, 10 points to margin.
So this kick goes long outside the 50. And it's going to come straight back in again. Just locking it down here, the Pies of late. It's Appleby. Too far out to score. His kick, well, it comes off hands. Crocker was immediately tackled. Managed to get the handball out, Jock. Handball across for Solo. Beautifully done. This is well worked. Deserved a goal and doesn't finish. Callum Brown misses to the left-hand side. So another behind to the total as we head towards half-time. Tyson Goldsack coming off the ground for a rest. I wonder how many minutes he's going to be playing today. 3:8:26 the Pies, 5:35 Sandringham. Tyre Power scoreboard.
Fisted away from the marking contest. Oh, gee, was that taken high for the Pies? No, Borthwick's a little sore there. He doesn't often put it on. He's a pretty tough customer. Down the line, Canellan. It's a good bit of play from Cameron. Kept it in front of him. Spills for Hoare. He goes through the middle of the ground. A big ball to be won now. Hellier comes up with it. He retreats by hand. That's okay. On the end of it, Wellings. He finds McClarty, who's got it 70 from home. He chips it over the top. That's okay. Wellings kept going. And he's got for Solo deep in the pocket. A metre in from the 50-metre arc and a metre in from the boundary line. I'm going to give him a 7.5 for pretending he was looking at finding a teammate once he took the mark.
Yes.
The eyes darted inboard well enough for the justification. And why not? Here he is, where the arc meets the boundary line for Solo. Oh, he got all of us. He chipped the ball instead of having a shot. There's a free kick here going Sandringham's way. A little strong in the air, wasn't it? Some high contact for Phillips, who takes it in the heart of his defensive 50.
Yep, and just taking his time too, looking to see which way he wants to go. He's pointing to the outer side, and that's where indeed he's heading. Runs his measure and kicks the ball out. Looking for McLean for Sandringham. Couldn't pick it up, but nicely done. Dunstan roving off the pack. His kick up the line looking for Verma. He's right near the boundary line but keeps it in well. And now his kick going inside the 50. Well, Hayden had the front position. Lamb had the back. Both of them were spoiled in the contest. And now Smith is held up in the tackle. Going absolutely nowhere. And the umpire says, give it to me. Throw it up. Can they get another one here? Sandy have had most of the play controlling things. Mind you there, Lynch had the ruck contest all to himself, went down to Woodward, he was tackled, ball spilled free, packed forms, umpire will throw it up again. Get you another score from Whitten Oval in just a few moments as we go around the grounds. We'll also keep you up to date with what's happening at Windy Hill, Essendon and the Northern Blues. That fight for 8th spot for the Bombers as Woodward just trying to push Minchington out of the way, can't do so now. Another packed forms, again it's held in, and again the umpire says I'll have it. So we tick down towards half-time. At half-time, we'll take you through each of the matches being played today in the Peter Jackson VFL and exactly what they mean for finals. We'll give you some predictions too. Wellings coming off the back of that contest. Gets it across to Cameron, the 23rd player. Was he over the line? He was, as he took his kick. So we're going to have it thrown in deep into attack here for Sandringham. 15 metres around from the behind post. Well, this is a big opportunity now, Hilly.
Certainly is. Lamb top of the goal square too. He's been so dangerous. He's in perfect position here.
Ball tossed back in. Lynch just fighting for it. No one can get clear. There is a quick kick out of the pack. Just to defensive 50. McClarty, it overruns him. Working their noon at around the right time. And they're going to work it back in again. Here's Sandringham. Here's an opportunity. It's a drifting ball. It's got the carry. Oh, Lamb! Couldn't take the mark. Marty Hall was just pushed out of it there. Boy, he's strong, Tom Lamb.
Certainly was. Should have been probably a free kick to Marty Hall there. He had the right position and was pushed from behind. So
5-6.
Probably a bit stiff.
5-6-36 says 3-8-26. Sandringham leading Tyre Power scoreboard.
Hall goes on his left boot. Oh, strong stuff from Lynch in front. Well played. In it for long enough. And the umpire says, you go and take the kick. A pretty dominant display all across the ground from Lynch so far. He's going to go on his right boot, drives it down the line at the back. Crocker did well enough to get it away from McLean, but that was good stuff from Caulfield at ground level. Got it away to Seckle by hand to Weikart, down to Minchington. Can kick the footy a long way. He gets it to the top of the square. Lamb! Yeah, lost all the cars around him in the heavy traffic and gave himself a clean run at it. He'll kick from 22 out on just tighter than a 45-degree angle. He's for his fourth of the term, boys.
He's looked sharp, hasn't he, in this second quarter?
To extend the lead, yes. Wasn't the most beautiful thing, but it was mighty effective. That's 4, and it's only 12:05. We've barely gone into the afternoon.
The old inside-out kick there from Tom Lamb. He shaped it left to right, off his right foot. And what a quarter of football from him. And Sandringham will go into this half-time break just absolutely bubbling, given the quarter of football they've put on.
Tyre Power scoreboard 6-6-42. Sandringham leading Collingwood 3-8-26. Just a reminder, if you've just tuned in, Collingwood are actually playing for a potential top 4 spot this afternoon. Sandringham came into this afternoon's match in 13th position.
Closing in on half-time. 26-point lead to Port Melbourne at Whitten Oval. 8-7-55 to Footscray. 4-5-29. We'll give you a half-time score there. It looks like if that keeps going the way it's going, the Doggies will be out of the finals race. Port Melbourne in a strong position as Woodward grabbed it from the contest and waiting. He's going to be big holding the footy. He was crunched there. The umpire waited an eternity and eventually said, yep, I'm going to give the free kick away. See the kick there from Hunter Clark, not going anywhere in a hurry, and that is half time. And what a quarter it was for Sandringham. They piled on the goals. They lead 6-6-42 Sandringham. Collingwood 3-8-26. That's a half-time score. It's on the Tyre Power scoreboard. And of course this half of Peter Jackson VFL Live for the Braybrook Hotel, the best Palmers in town, as we go through the goal kickers to half-time. And for Sandringham, you only need to look in one direction. Player 23. Tom Lamb's got 4 goals, all in that second quarter. And another goal to Jackson Hill. And there's one more I think I've missed on my sheets. Yes, Kai Owens. He's kicked a goal as well. And for the Pies, Blair, Callum Brown and Gallucci. Their goal kickers at half-time. A great quarter for the Zebras and the Pies with a bit of work to do. I'm sure Jared Rivers will be having a stern word to them because, as Leedsy has pointed out, this is a side that's playing for a potential top 4 position and a double chance heading into the Love the Game final series next week. Whew, what a quarter of football it was. We'll take a break. On the other side of the break, we will give you everything of what's going on. We'll give you a half from Whitten Oval. We'll get some scores also from Windy Hill, see how Essendon and the Northern Blues are tracking. We'll let you know about all the other games today. There is still a whole heap of stuff to come on Super Saturday, and we'll have it for you next. Wherever you're watching or listening to us, this is Peter Jackson VFL Live.
Right now, you can get a Volkswagen Golf pack with features from $23,990 drive away. Hurry into your Volkswagen dealer today. T's and C's at volkswagen.com.au.
I'm Gerard Waitley. The program this week was Coach's Corner. Brad Scott.
We're not going to sit idly by and not, protest against these things.
Nathan Buckley.
There will be some progressions that need to be had. How cleanly he gets through those will dictate what his contribution to us is in September.
Simon Goodwin.
We're far from done. We want to continue to make the most of this season.
Join me Monday from 9.
The Toyota Good for Footy round has helped raise much needed money for local clubs around Australia, like Wyndham All Abilities, a footy club giving people with intellectual disabilities the opportunity to play Aussie rules. Thanks to Toyota, they raised $4,750 and they're using it to buy brand new equipment for their players so they can continue playing the game they love. Now that's good for footy. Toyota, oh what a feeling.
It's important to tell our loved ones how much they mean to us. So don't wait till tomorrow, say it now. During Say It Now week, Tobin Brothers Funerals is encouraging you to tell loved ones what an inspiration they are and how much they mean to you.
Say it now, say how you really feeling, what's there in your heart.
Hashtag Say It Now week on now till Sunday. Visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Hi, I'm Jared Conroy, founder of Prana Energy Commercial Solar. Every day I talk to Australian businesses that are really feeling the pain of skyrocketing power prices hitting their bottom line. In the last decade, Prana Energy has become one of Australia's most trusted solar and electrical companies. My mandate as the founder of Prana Energy is to give back control to Australian businesses by reducing power bills and operating costs. For solar or battery storage solutions, contact us at Prana Energy. That's pranaenergy.com.au.
On behalf of all lovers of schnitz, we humbly thank the parents of Roman Papa Schnitz Dyduk, because long ago on a typical cold Polish morning, if not for their chance meeting on the 7:04 a.m. bus, their shared love of crumbs would never have been explored. And Roman, a future schnitzel expert, never born. Today, Papa Schnitz, together with his sons Tom and Andrew, continue to share their family obsession of crumbs at Schnitz Family Restaurants. Please, be our guest. Schnitz, handmade, hand-cooked.
You probably don't think much about the brakes in your car, but you should, because no other brakes are designed to perform like Bendix brakes. Bendix brakes are designed in Australia with specific formulations to meet Australian conditions. That means your brakes are made to stop your car wherever you are in any kind of weather. No other brakes can say that. It's time to think about your brakes. Next time you change brakes, fit Bendix brakes. Don't accept anything less. Bendix brakes. Put your foot down with confidence.
No matter who you are or what your fitness goals are, we're here to tell you we know you can. How do we know? Because 500,000 people just like you are changing their lives every day with Anytime Fitness. That's 500,000 hearts beating as one, smashing their goals every single day. You can and you will with Anytime Fitness. Try Anytime Fitness for free today. Terms and conditions apply. Visit anytimefitness.com.au.
Peter Jackson, VFL Live, VFL.com.au.
Here at Victoria Park, and well, it's an interesting scoreline. It is Sandringham not playing for finals. This is their final game of the season. 6-6-42, playing 3-8-26. And we saw a couple of weeks ago, Leedsy, with Collingwood, that they kicked themselves out of a match that they really should have controlled against Box Hill. Potential might still be happening here. Now, we'll go around the grounds and just bear with us as we're going through everything. We're going to work together as a team here on this one, but a couple of goals to the Bulldogs, and they're narrowing the margin there. It's still 20-point lead, though, to Port Melbourne. 8-7-55 to Footscray, 5-5-35, and we'll have a halftime score for you on that in a moment. But just explain, Leedsy, what the permutations are there out of that particular game, because it's a pretty simple equation for Footscray, a little more complicated for Port Melbourne.
Yeah, look, Port Melbourne could be sent tumbling out, but in truth, they'd have to lose by 10 goals, and that looks unlikely from here. So I think we can just about write that off. It would take some sort of miracle. Footscray would have to win by about 10 goals to get themselves into the 8 if the Bombers defeat the Northern Blues, which we expect to happen.
Speaking of that one, they're 11 minutes into the first quarter there, and it is one behind apiece. Over there, early stages. So for that one, then, as we look ahead to that match at Windy Hills, so for Essendon, they're pretty much in the prime position, aren't they? Because they're the incumbents. They've got the 8th spot, and it's pretty much theirs to lose, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. They lock in their spot. All they need to do is win. In fact, their percentage is pretty tidy, Pete, so they could lose and still make the finals if Footscray and also North Melbourne go down. So I think if you're a Bombers fan, you're just about locked into looking at September action.
Okay, let's take a look at the other games that are being played this afternoon. And the first one's at Avalon Airport Oval. It's a 1 o'clock start, so we'll have some scores from that game as well. Werribee taking on North Melbourne. I suppose local derby, you could say, with North Melbourne playing their home games out of Avalon Airport Oval this season while Arden Street gets fixed up. But big game for North Melbourne. I mean, it's pretty simple. Again, the equation, they've got to kind of rely on results because they're sort of in the worst position out of those three teams vying for that 8th spot.
Yeah, I think would Collingwood make up about 10 percentage points last week. I can't see it happening today for North Melbourne, and they've got the worst of the teams on 32 points who sit on or just outside the 8. So they'd need to win and make up at least 11%, and then hope things go their way. So really, it's
if Essendon or Footscray win, then that's job done.
Yep.
They're out. Nick Larkey, by the way, leading the race for Frosty. He's got 39 goals.
Well,
Geordie Lyles, 37 goals, and then you've got Union and Lewis on 31 goals apiece. So the race for Frosty is still going on at the moment.
Yeah, I think that's probably where the story out of that match comes, is can Larkey do the business, and also obviously John Lamont
yes.
in his last game. I can't imagine that he'll go out without having his team absolutely cherry ripe and ready to go.
I don't think the team would want him to go out
Correct.
with a loss either. So, yeah, there's a bit to play for Werribee down at Avalon Airport Oval. The Box Hill City Oval sees Box Hill taking on Geelong. This is where it gets interesting. We move from the bottom half of the top 8 to the top half now. And interesting for Box Hill. I mean, you talk about incumbency and where you sit. Williamstown sitting in 4th position on the ladder. Getting into this, we had the Box Hill Hawks in 6th. They can get to 4th position if Williamstown and Collingwood lose, and Box Hill makes up about 0.7 percentage points on Williamstown, give or take, depending on how the results shake out here. They'll finish 5th if Williamstown wins or draws and Collingwood loses or draws, or they'll finish 6th, which is their lowest possible position if Williamstown wins or draws and Collingwood wins. Okay, so really, if they lose, pretty much 6th place is locked in, but they can get that double chance depending on how things go here.
Yeah, things would have to go well, and they are coming up against a Geelong outfit that might not be able to fall down, but they could snatch the minor premiership if things go their way as well.
Okay, so for Geelong, who sit in 3rd place heading into this round, they get the minor premiership if Casey and Richmond lose. Unlikely, you would say, because Richmond is playing Frankston this afternoon at Skybus Stadium. But Casey have got Williamstown. That's a really interesting game. You got to see that on Channel 7 a little bit later on today. But yeah, they could grab the minor premiership. Grabbing that home final, yes, a double chance, but also a home final at GMHBA Stadium would be enormous.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely huge for the Cats' chances.
And huge, of course, for Box Hill as well, as we've just pointed out. As we mentioned, Richmond, of course, in 2nd position. And, well, they can finish with the minor premiership. Pretty simple, really, if the Casey Demons lose. They'll finish 2nd if Casey wins and Geelong loses. Finish 3rd if Casey and Geelong win. Geelong makes up 5.5 percentage points, give or take, on Richmond.
Having said that, we don't expect Richmond to have any percentage made up on them at all.
No, good point. So, the other game, as I mentioned, Casey and Williamstown. So Casey, pretty simple. They can finish with the minor premiership. If they win today, they could fall to as low as 3rd with a loss there. And for Williamstown, this is the interesting one. So they had the big win last week over Port Melbourne. They could finish in 4th. They could finish as low as 6th in that little jumble with Collingwood and the Box Hill Hawks. So, yeah, if they win, they finish 4th. They lose, they finish 4th if Collingwood and the Box Hill Hawks lose or draw. They finish 5th if Collingwood wins and the Box Hill Hawks lose or draw. They finish 6th if both Collingwood and the Box Hill Hawks win. And Box Hill makes up about 0.7 a percentage point on Williamstown. If they draw, of course, they'll still finish in 4th. So a win or a draw is the advisable one for Williamstown.
I don't think Andy Collins would buy into too much of the what-ifs. He's been around for long enough. But it's fair to say that it wouldn't be too hard to sell for him to turn around to the players and say, just worry about winning this week, boys. There's too many permutations for me to explain what it all means.
Well, that, and also I think, you know, from mentally as well, you're going to be playing against Casey, presumably, as well. And, you know, it might shake out that they play each other 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, and, like, well, it is... on that point, Casey did have a really solid win at Williamstown back in round 9. It was 84-46, so definitely want to improve on that going into the final series.
It is half-time at Whitten Oval, and Port Melbourne leads by 20 points, 8-7-55 to Footscray, 5-5-35. So that is a half-time score there, so Port Melbourne in the box seat in that one. And I'll just give you a score from Essendon as well. 17 minutes in, and the Northern Blues 1-2-8, Essendon 1 behind. So only early stages of that one. It's like an election. We're looking here, we're looking there, what's happening here, what's happening there. This is good. And now, of course, Werribee and North Melbourne will be going at it. And just a reminder too, as you heard if you were listening to us from around 10 o'clock, or Anthony Stangetz and Jack Heverin and Anthony announced on air on Tuesday night and also today, the I Love the Game final series. There will be a night final next Saturday. That'll be on the telly on Channel 7. So we're looking forward to that one, and every chance that we'll be there broadcasting as well on 1377 SEN, plus maybe on 1116 as well. But there are a few things to work through there. But we're also hoping, and again, we won't know anything until later on today, but we'll be also covering definitely one of the Sunday finals and the Saturday afternoon final as well. So outlets and where you can hear and watch and all that sort of stuff, VFL.com.au. We'll have that all for you, if not tonight, throughout the week. And yeah, keep an eye on that because we are going big time into the final series. So plenty to look forward to there. Collingwood making its way back out onto the ground. Sandringham not too far away. We'll take a break and we'll get stuck into the second half. Can Collingwood turn this around? It's Sandringham with the ascendancy. Collingwood playing for a top 4 spot, potentially a top 4 spot. 42 plays 26 on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Second half coming up next on Peter Jackson, VFL Live.
The Toyota Good for Footy round has helped raise much needed money for local clubs around Australia, like Waratah, one of the Northern Territory's founding footy clubs. Thanks to Toyota, they raised $4,500 and are using it to give young Indigenous players more opportunities to play the game they love. That includes paying for travel to and from Echo Island and Tiwi Islands. Now that's good for footy. Toyota, oh what a feeling.
And the Golden Crumb goes to Papa Schnitz.
I don't know what to say. The Golden Crumb Award to be given Australia's greatest schnitzel making owner, it's amazing. And thank you Australia for your love our hand crumb, pan-cooked schnitzels. You are truly the crumbs in our schnitz.
Dad, wake up.
Dad.
What, huh? You're daydreaming again.
Well boys, all great things start with a dream. A golden crumb covered dream.
Stop dreaming and get into your local Schnitz today.
Think about how you use your car. Do you just drive from A to B? Is your car your office? Or do you go off-road? How you use your car will determine the type of brakes you need, because not all brakes are the same. Bendix have developed brake pads in Australia to suit your vehicle and driving style. No other brakes can say that. It's time to think about your brakes. Next time you change brakes, fit Bendix brakes. Don't accept anything less. Bendix brakes. Put your foot down with confidence.
It's important to tell our loved ones how much they mean to us. So don't wait till tomorrow, say it now. During Say It Now week, Tobin Brothers Funerals is encouraging you to tell loved ones what an inspiration they are and how much they mean to you.
Say it now, say it how you really feeling, what's there in your heart.
Hashtag Say It Now week, on now till Sunday. Visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
At iPrimus, we're so sure you'll love our supercharged NBN plan, we guarantee it. Get ultra-fast unlimited data for all the streaming, gaming and downloading you want all day, every day for just $80 a month. Plus, for a limited time, get 1 month free. The most flexible internet you can get. That's us. iPrimus. Visit iprimus.com.au.
Selected areas only. Minimum cost $1,920 over 24 months plus $15 delivery. Guarantee for first 30 days on this plan only. Free service credit on third bill.
We can move the world for you. Camerons can do.
We marvel at the icons in sport, like our footy heroes and their skills. It sure takes a lot of can-do attitude to reach those heights. Next time you're on the roads, look out for the iconic Cameron's Can-Do yellow trucks. From Melbourne to Adelaide to Perth, Sydney to Brisbane and everywhere in between. Cameron's keeps Australia moving. There's a little bit of can-do in all of us.
We can move the world for you. Cameron's Can-Do.
Camerons.com.au.
More than 500,000 people just like you are changing their lives every day with Anytime Fitness. We've seen goals smashed, fitness transformed, and lives changed. We've seen I can't turn to I did. No matter what your fitness level, no matter what your goal, we've got your back. And we're here to tell you that we know you can. Anytime Fitness. Come and try Anytime Fitness for free today. Terms and conditions apply. Visit anytimefitness.com.au.
Hi, I'm Jared Conroy, founder of Prana Energy Commercial Solar. Every day I talk to Australian businesses that are really feeling the pain of skyrocketing power prices hitting their bottom line. In the last decade, Prana Energy has become one of Australia's most trusted solar and electrical companies. My mandate as the founder of Prana Energy is to give back control to Australian businesses by reducing power bills and operating costs. For solar or battery storage solutions, contact us at Prana Energy. That's prana energy.com.au.
Peter Jackson, VFL Live, VFL.com.au.
Back here at Victoria Park on this Super Saturday of Peter Jackson VFL. It is the final round of the home and away season. Collingwood playing for a potential top 4 spot. They're trailing Sandringham at half-time. 6-6-42 to Collingwood 3-8-26. A 20-point lead for Port Melbourne over Footscray at half-time at Whitten Oval. And in the other game at Windy Hill at the moment, it is Essendon 2-1-13 leading the Northern Blues 1-3-9. So Essendon playing for that 8th spot. Port Melbourne playing for 7th spot, theoretically, or 6th spot. No, 7th spot, I think. All those permutations, Michael Lees, that I just went through, and I've forgotten all of them.
Well, there's a few of them to keep abreast of, in fairness.
Yes.
I mean...
Well, Glenn Hill, down to you on the boundary line, because I threatened to set you a test. As we ran through all of those, we'd give you a team and you tell us where they'd finish.
Look, I was a bit busy at half-time on the left and right foot with the young fella. So I did listen in, but if you tested me right now, I'd probably fail.
No, don't worry, we'd all fail. And we were the ones reading it out too. It's in front of us. Big second half to come. In this half of Peter Jackson VFL Live for Identifiber, asbestos and hazardous materials testing. And on the Tyre Power scoreboard at 6-6-42 Sandringham, Collingwood 3-8-26 as the teams get into position for this second half. And just talking about not only finals, but Liston Trophy, best and fairest in the Peter Jackson VFL. I reckon Marty Hoare has got a big shout this year. He's been sensational across the season.
Oh, he certainly has, Pete. And I think he'd be in the frame to have a chance of winning the medal. And I also think he'd have an opportunity, I think, next year, maybe at AFL level.
Yeah, we'll talk more about that, drill down into some of the contenders next week across our finals coverage on Peter Jackson VFL Live. But we're set to go now for the second half. 6-6-42 Sandringham, Collingwood 3-8-26.
Pies to try and claw back. What was a 5-goal-to-1 advantage in that second term. Blair gets them going with a handball, but a little high free kick against Borthwick. He hasn't had his best day just yet. Lomax comes to the near wing. Ball bounces nicely for Dunstan, who handballs, hopefully really, on the end of a gold sack. Got it away. Down the line, Appleby. Lead the contest originally, and that allows Sandringham to get the numbers back. Dunstan, one of them. He goes through the middle. Gee, that's a dangerous kick. 3-on-1. Pies come up with it. On the end of it, Blair. Handball inboard. Tardru needs to get away. Shook one tackle. Goes on his right boot to half forward. Crocker can take it at the 50. He needs to go quickly to Fasolo, who made a good lead, and he got him. Just in front of Noon there, and he's going to swing round. Kick over his shoulder and gets the goal. That's a better start for the Pies. Their first of this third term. And on the Tyre Power scoreboard, they move to 32. 10 points behind Sandringham, or 6-6-42. Get the power of expert advice at Tyre Power.
That certainly set the crowd alight here at Victoria Park. And for Solo is the energizer inside 50, and he needs to deliver a little bit more of that and get Collingwood back into this game. He's a little bit quiet today, but that's a great start to the second half for him.
Yeah, 22 goals now in 11 games at VFL level for Alex Fasolo. Just keeping an update on those players returning from injury. Tyson Goldsack has been good in patches today, and Flynn Appleby as well, particularly in that second quarter as the ball is locked in again in the middle of the ground, and the umpire will come in and throw it up.
They seem to have wanted to take the game on, Hilly, today, Sandringham, but that kick from Dunstan was very ambitious.
Oh, it certainly was. It was a bit of a coach killer on that occasion, but he's had a good game, Dunstan, so we won't ride him into the turf too hard.
Good tackling pressure, Speaky riding into the turf. Players dusting themselves off in the middle of the ground. Cannell in one of those. Blair around as well. Whitecard at the back. As Lynch doing the ruck work. Down there looking for Wills, who just overran the footy. Dacos trying to come through. Good pressure again from both sides. Minchington trying to clear it. He can't do so. Eventually it spills out. Wills picked it up, dragged down into the turf. And the umpire says he was holding the footy. So free kick to McLean for Sandy. He's got runners alongside. Now the kick going up towards half forward. One-on-one contest. Goldsack. It went behind him in the end. Phillips to run onto it. He's immediately wrapped up in the Wellings tackle. He handballs inside 50. Another chance here. Smith for Collingwood just clearing the area. Goldsack there again. Off to Wellings. Wellings now kicks up towards centre wing. A 2-on-1 in favour of Sandringham. And the two win out. McLean takes the mark. Centre wing broadcast sides.
Yes, he's done well there, Hayden. He's going to kick long on that right boot. So one for the High Flyers, two up in the air for the Pies. Luckily they had one at ground level and just still working hard. These Wills came to Wellings, couldn't find a teammate. Strong tackling from Brown and Weikart. Ball spills free from the contest. Appleby's at the bottom of all that with Rice on top. And the umpire will come in and toss it up. So some strong stuff from Bailey and Wellings there as players just reacquaint themselves with the contest. Wills tries to get it going. Tardrew, little handball out the back. That's nicely played initially, but asked a lot of Brown in the end. Hayden was onto it. He stole it away, pickpocketed him, ran into the open goal and finished. Just a bit too cute there from the Pies across half back. And Hayden made the most of it. They go to 48, Sandringham on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Collingwood 48-32.
Around the grounds at Windy Hill, 30 minutes into the opening quarter there. 3-1-19 Essendon, 1-3-9 the Northern Blues. We'll get you a score at Whitten Oval as well when they get into the third quarter over there.
Yeah, well, that was the counterpunch then from Sandringham. Just cleaning themselves up after a tardy start to the quarter. They're back restoring their lead.
Back in the middle, Lynch gets the tap down. Wills slicing through. Good work. Worked it across to Hetherington, who just went short looking for Tardrew. Called to play on for the umpire. Wasn't 15. Back to Wills. Tardrew. He picks it up again and goes across the ground. This time they've found some space. Oh, terrible handball. Cameron had to do the hard work here, the 23rd play for the Pies. He'd lost a handle on it, now needs to pick it up again. He's laying a tackle. Pack forms. Umpire will throw it up. Just didn't quite hit the target. And so we have a neutral ball, neutral territory, centre wing. There's the ball here coming through. And Wills. Did he get it pushed in the back? No, a throw again, says the umpire. As he tried to get rid of it. And the feel, will it be 50? Because there's a Collingwood player just, Lynch didn't release the footy.
I think he threw it into the back of the umpire.
Oh, that's not good either. You just get a 50 for that. Dunstan's got it though. He's on the edge of the square at centre wing. He kicks up towards the 50. Good mark there from Lynch over the top of McLean. Now, he's looking, the eyes are darting everywhere here. Lynch decides to go backwards. Goldsack's there. And where are they going to go here, the Pies? It's Appleby who's got it. Handball over the top, Woodwards. He's wheeling around. Oh, it's going to be turned over. Weikart, almost a bit of friendly fire there as well as they were lining up. Weikart will have the shot at goal. So Flynn Appleby led that chain. And they tried to go across the ground. It's good pressure here from the Sandy forwards. Leichhardt's only kicked the 1 goal in this 2018 season. This one on the way. Hasn't got the trip. It's off hands and it's through for 1 behind. 7-7-49. The Sandringham side. 4-8-32 is Collingwood. That's on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Get the power of expert advice at Tyre Power. This half of Peter Jackson VFL Live for identifiable asbestos and hazardous material testing.
Long ball back in McClarty! Welcome to the contest. He introduces himself in a magnificent fashion. They're on quickly too. Jock's got a one-on-one. The cavalry arrive. He has to go to work at ground level now. Jock, he did well. Handball, and he's asking a bit there of Wellings, who's well tackled. Ball to be tossed up. No, holding the footy. So it'll be a Sandringham ball at half back. But I suspect that won't be what everyone's talking about after the game's finished. Long ball across the face of goal is okay. Clavarino's on the end of it. He's going to go down the wing. He missed the initial target. Minchington to work on Tardrew. Tardrew won the footy. Asked a bit there of Smith. He goes back to Tardrew and says, well, your problem now, mate. And now they'll toss it back in. And that was a magnificent fly from McClarty.
One of the marks of the season, and he has already pulled down a few big marks this season, but that might have been his best.
A few contenders, I would say, for Mark of the Year as well. There's Lynch, ball down. Woodward got the handball out, works it across to Hallier, brought down in the tackle, released it just in time. Woodward again trying to come through. Good pressure again as Caulfield picks it up for Sandringham. He wheels around, tries to send them forward, puts it out of bounds on the full. Turnover to the Pies. It looks like it'll be Tyler Brown to take the free kick, will he? He's just waiting for this footy to come back. Goes through a couple of sets of hands. Actually won't be. Around just getting out of the way, trying to find some space. It'll be Appleby to take the free kick. So look just to set up here again the Pies. Just a bit of a lull in the game as the kick goes up the line. McClarty again. This time he's well held by Goddard. Still managed to pick it up though. Now Gallucci handball over the top. Oh, his coat hangers. That's going to be a free kick. Yeah, the umpire saw it. I think the trailing umpire and most of the crowd saw it as well. Now, whistles going everywhere.
Down the ground
It's a
free
down
kick.
the field free kick, and that's fair enough too, because play had moved on. So another opportunity for the Pies, and 50 metres.
Oh.
Not only is it down the field, but it's 50 metres.
That's really unforgivable from Sandringham. It would have been for a back chat, and that is absolutely unforgivable.
So it goes. The kick goes back to Gallucci. He's the one that's going to take the shot. So it was a down the field free kick.
Yeah, but was it a 50-metre penalty? Because that surely is not 50 metres.
Well, was it from the original incident? Anyway, Gallucci's coming in. He has a shot. It's a low ball. It's a goal. He kicks the goal. We're going to open our rule books here. 2 goals to Andrew Gallucci. Takes him up to 23 for the season. And, well, that's huge for Collingwood against the run of play a bit. 7-7-49, 5-8-38 Collingwood on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Get the power of expert advice at Tyre Power. I would say it was from the original free kick.
I think you're right, Pete. And Hugh Goddard was just questioning the umpire. And just from the way it was being explained, I get the feeling that it was from the original free kick and that it was a 50-metre penalty from the point of actual contact, which is the rule. If you get rid of the footy, you cannot be blocked or taken down afterwards, and that's what occurred.
It's not completely unfamiliar territory, but I'm confused as Dunstan goes inside the 50. Big fist from behind, allows Blair to tap it on. Tardrew's on the end of it. He tries to slice his way through the middle and does to Woodward. Little one over the top. Pies look like they're lifting. Got it to Hellier, back to Tardrew, inside the 50. Brown on the end of it, tried to tap it to his own advantage, no good. In the way, Sandringham defenders, Noon. Spilt back for Gallucci. He finds a man. He's well tackled. Good stuff, McLean didn't give away the free kick.
Just quickly around the ground, 6 minutes into the third quarter at Whitten Oval. 10-7-67, Port Melbourne, Footscray 5-5-35.
Just wonder if that was the in they were after the Pies. It's been a little lacklustre, it must be said, against the 13th place side Sandringham this afternoon. Ball to be won at half-back for Sandringham. McClarty did it, though. He got it away. Little kick around the corner is going to be turned over. Brown. This is Tyler, I fancy.
He's looking more and more confident week by week, Tyler Brown. He's playing a good game off half-back today.
McClarty goes back with the flag, but it didn't matter! Crocker over the back! Oh, he's hurt himself. He's landed awkwardly on his back.
Immediately calling for the stretcher too, and
He
the trainers.
Sore. That was some sort of hang. There's some concern there from his teammates. So 2 1/4 for the Pies, as Crocker just read it magnificently.
The umpire was straight onto that, Leedsy.
Yeah.
Just calling the trainers out. I suspect. Oh no, is he going to get up? He's going to take his time here, understandably so.
He'd have to be mighty sore, given he's just taken one of the marks of the year and he's got a shot on goal.
He might be...
Now the Pies fans realise he's okay and they can take a deep breath and celebrate one of the great moments of the game. 2 1/4 we've had. We know he can jump, but he just had McClarty coming back with the flight. He took the pack with him and just held onto it magnificently. Now the tough bit, after all that. Can he kick the goal? His side trails by 11 points. He's 40 out directly in front. We know his back's sore. He has one behind to his name before the kick. He gets it. There's a little moment, Pie fans. They're back to within 5 points. Collingwood looking better all of a sudden. His whole team got to him after he kicked the goal, and now he comes from the ground.
Oh, understandably so, Hilly.
Oh, absolutely, and he does look quite sore as he comes off, so he might get some massage and a bit of relief, pain relief, and try and get him back out there as soon as they can. But for live footage for me, I think that was mark of the year. That was one of the flies of the season, and he just rose above the pack incredibly high and took one of the cleanest marks of the year.
The irony, Hilly, that McClarty, who might have been in the running, he jumped over the top of to take it.
Maybe words afterwards require lemonade as Woodward, he's ridden into the turf as well. Even Collingwood right in the middle of the ground. Ball going nowhere, and the umpire says, I'll throw it up. 7-7-49 Sandringham, Collingwood 6-8-44 as we work to about 14 minutes in this third quarter on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Get the power of expert advice at Tyre Power. Jock flying high in the ruck contest, but it's a Sandringham ball. It's high from Dunstan, one-on-one, top of the goal square, Lamb. He's got a second effort there. Here's Goldsack. Lamb picks it up again, around a couple, just throws it on the boot. It goes across the face of goal, working there Canellan. He's just worried off it by Tahana. Now Dacos, twisting, turning, got it across to Smith, who works it across to Hana again. Short ball finds Jock outside the 50. He can go for a run here, takes a bounce. He can keep going, decides to kick up the line. He's going to turn the footy over. Nice one-armed mark from Jackson Hill. We'd say that's a good mark, but compared to the others we've seen today, it's okay. He goes up the line, and Sandringham can just work their way through. Go around the grounds too while we got the opportunity, Leedy. 3-2-20 Essendon, 1-3-9 Northern Blues. That's a quarter-time score over at Windy Hill.
Inside the 50, Seckle working in tight quarters, got it away. Caulfield, little shot on goal, away to the right-hand side, out of bounds on the full, and Hayden demanding an answer as to why it didn't head to him at the top of the square. Given it went 10 metres out of bounds on the full, I'm not convinced we could say it was by choice. As Tardrew has it in the back pocket. He wants to play on quickly. There's some space gathering now for Goldsack on our commentary wing. He goes down the line, a nicely weighted ball for Borthwick, who's on the end of it. He can go quickly. Little chipper from Gus over the top. Appleby's got some run. Can he find a man? He goes around the corner, asks a lot. Fisted away from the contest. For Solo gets to it as it goes over the line. He tries to hack it back in by fist, but no good. The boundary line one. They'll toss it back in here. I think assistant coach Matthew Boyd just asking for that ball to go more direct and longer in that situation. Woodward's trying to buffet his way through trouble. Has he lost a handle on it, or is it in the back? Push in the back.
Advantage.
Chance for Wills from deep in the pocket, but there was clearly no advantage in any of that. And Woodward can't believe it. It's a behind in the end. Noon to bring it back in. The Pies are coming though, 45 to 49 on the Type House scoreboard.
Good lead for Port Melbourne. I'll give you a score on that in a moment as we got the ball clearing the 50 here for Sandringham. McLean's got it all to himself. He didn't take the mark, but Cameron came in late and he'll get the free kick. Hayden McLean got a runner alongside. It's Caulfield who can go for a run from half back. He kicks up towards centre wing. The marking today has been extraordinary. Another one this time. Marty Hoare takes it.
Great calling from Marty Hoare there. Called his teammate out of that so he could take that mark. Really good cohesion there in the back half.
Back for Appleby. Goes backwards. So they're going to set up here. Goldsack's the short option. I hear them all screaming. Flynn as the ball goes up the line. Here's McLarty again. He's got 2 to beat this time. It goes to the back and there are numbers for Collingwood over the top. Handball finds Jock. He closes to 60. A high ball. It's going over the header for Solo. Noon tracking it down. Actually goes through for a behind in the end. Just a little bit too big for Solo. And another behind is on the board. They're closing in. 46 place, 49. Tyre Power scoreboard. Get the power of expert advice at Tyre Power. 17 minutes gone. This half of Peter Jackson VFL Live for Identifiber, asbestos and hazardous material testing.
Jock up, here he goes. He wants to be part of it as well. And he takes the mark and swings them inboard. Brown's on the end of it. This is Tyler. Steers it inside the 50. No good. Chopped off.
I'm just going to let you call the rest of the game, Leedsy, because when you've called it, magic's happened.
Well, it does go to show with some good conditions. The sun's out and the players are really backing themselves in. It's good to watch. Across the face of goal goes Sandringham. Tahana gets a fist in, takes it to the line in front of the Type House scoreboard. 3 points the margin. Sandringham in front. Here are the Pies.
Give you around the ground score too from Whitten Oval. 11-7-73 Port Melbourne. Bulldogs 6-7-43. 13 minutes into the third quarter there.
Get the power of expert advice at Type Out. 3 points the margin here. Good game of footy. Umpire's going to ask the boundary up. No, he's going to give a free kick. And it's going to go the way of McLean, who has it on his defensive arc, tucked up against the boundary line. He wants to keep tight with that line. Minchington had a go over his head, but it bounced up nicely and he kept it in. He drives it to half forward, going back Lamb and Hoare. Lamb comes up with the footy, goes away on his right boot. Has a shot from deep in the pocket, and it was always going to be tough from there. It's out of bounds on the full.
Tyler Brown to bring the ball back in. So we're ticking towards time on in this third quarter. Great contest this, great day, good crowd, everything about it. So as Brown's giving the ball away again. He's sort of just retrieving it. He does all the hard, he does the heavy lifting in terms of bringing the ball back in, then just hands it off. So the kick going outside 50, they're all flying now. McLean over the top, there is a push out. And will it be McLarty's free kick? No.
He's paid the mark.
Oh, he paid it to Goddard. No, off the contest, there's a push out. The kick going inside 50, Lamb's got it again, breaks the tackle, across here, Seckle, running out of room. And now he just got to pop it on the boot, he does, and he finds Caulfield's. So it just slows things down, does Nick Caulfield. Hasn't kicked a goal in the 8 games heading into this one today for Sandringham.
It's a prodigious kick of the footy, Pete, so I'd imagine he'll kick the distance here.
The margin is 3. Sandringham leading. Pretty much directly in front from the paint of 50. Caulfield, it's drifting wide and it's drifting right. And it's gone through for a behind. Margin 4 points now. Tyre Power scoreboard. Sandringham leading. It's half of Peter Jackson VFL Live for Identifiber, asbestos and hazardous material testing. Really interesting stage of this match as we head into time on, Leedsy.
Yeah, Sandringham, they're holding up their end of the bargain. Here's Wills taking mark, playing on quickly to Woodward on half back. He needs to get rid of it, did just in the nick of time. Blair was there, lend a hand and then drives a ball to Crocker, who's back on the ground after the hanger in the goal. Handball inboard to Jock, 55 out, steers it into the path of Hellier. And that's a much better weighted kick. His last entry to Fasolo was nowhere, but that had a lot more care and a lot more vision, and Hellier can take the shot from 40 out, 3 metres in from the boundary line.
I loved Andrew Gallucci there, Hilly. Hallier's got about 15 metres away. He provides the lead. By the time he finished that lead, they were almost standing side by side.
He's certainly hungry.
Granted, he would have been, directly in front, but it's not a terrible option for Hallier to have the shot here.
To wrestle
Especially
back
when
the
you kick it like
lead.
that,
Oh, the skipper's done it. His 9th of the year for Captain Jack. His first of the afternoon, and Collingwood back in front. They lead by 2 points on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Get the power of expert advice at Tyre Power.
Just around the grounds again, we've got 11:8.74 Port Melbourne. The Bulldogs 7:49 there. 18 minutes into the third quarter there, and it's a 10-point lead into the second quarter for Essendon over the Northern Blues. Coming up in about 8 minutes' time, we've got Werribee and North Melbourne.
This second half has seen a few high-flying marks for the Peter Jackson VFL Live for Identifiber, asbestos and hazardous material testing. Hasn't it been good to watch?
We could get a whole top 5 on the VFL.com.au just out of this game. The way we're going. Goodness. Anyway, ball spills out. Chance here for Phillips. Of a step. He kicks inside the 50. Lamb's caught at the back here. Still managed to get the fist in. He went past Minchington though. They've got the numbers, the Pies. Short ball. Oh no, now a turnover. Wills turned it over. And there's still a chance here, Sandy. As that's Zilla kicking Lamb. He has top of the goal square. Now a kick off the ground. It's a goal. Seckel kicked the goal. A turnover from Wills. And it's led to a Sandringham goal. So Seckel gets his first for the afternoon. Boy, this is going to be a hell of a last quarter. Don't go anywhere if you're watching on VFL.com.au or listening to us on SEN Plus on 1377 because, wow, they're fighting for a top 4 spot here, Collingwood. Sandringham, not in finals contention. They're not going anywhere. And it's 7:10:52 Collingwood. And it looks like it's 8:56 for Sandringham. On the Tyre Power scoreboard, get the power of expert advice at Tyre Power.
Sandringham just refused to go away here. This is a really good contribution to the contest. 56-52. Bear in mind they're 13th, playing against a team that's trying to get into the top 4. Willings away to Smith. Down the line he goes. He's not going to find a teammate there. It's going to bounce towards the Tyre Power scoreboard and it goes over the line and they'll toss it in. Get the power of expert advice at Tyre Power. 52-56, 4 points the margin. Sandringham in front. Jock goes to work in the ruck, can't find a teammate. Dunstan did well at ground level. Handballed out in front of his teammate there, but couldn't get it away was Minchington. And they'll toss it in again. It's
like everyone at the ground is just taking an enormous breath after what's been happening the last 10 to 15 minutes or so. It's got very quiet all of a sudden.
It has been a thoroughly enjoyable day at the Peter Jackson VFL. As the ball tossed back in, McLean knocked it down only as far as Brown. Well tackled. Dunstan was taken forward, allowed to go on. Weichart gets away from Smith and gets it going half forward, but it's knocked over by Appleby. And they'll toss it back in. I feel like this needs some Peter Mercado magic to get it clear of that outer side. 24 and a half gone in the second term.
Third term.
Third term. If only it would keep going. 4 points the difference, Sandringham in front.
Ball to be tossed back in. Jock working there with McLean. Now McLean just went the punch straight back to the boundary line. And the umpire says, yep, you went deliberately back that way. And so Woodward's going to take the free kick. As the ball goes high. It's a 2-on-1 contest. Lynch was caught at the back now. Gallucci trying to wheel around. His handball was smothered. Still heading forward. A throw call. The umpire, no call there. As Gallucci throws it on the boost. Pushed off his kick. It out of bounds on the full. And it'll be a free kick going Sandringham's way. After all of that, it's a little bit untidy, but they're just holding up okay here. Noon to bring the ball back in. 56 plays 52. It's a 4-point lead as Noon kicks deep outside the 50. Oh, good mark, McLean. Stood tall when the others fell. Got the ball around to Bailey. Bailey's kick up the line. Owen's trying to find some space here. He's on hands and knees. Eventually coughed on the footy. Brown, excellent there for Collingwood. Handball finds Lynch. They're in the middle of the ground. Now they've got some overlap. This is Cameron for Collingwood, the 23rd player, sending him deep inside the 50. It falls here for Fasolo, trying to drag it back. From 20 out, he couldn't. It's a behind. So 53 plays 56. Sandringham leading. Tyre Power scoreboard. Get the power of expert advice at Tyre Power. As we move into 26 minutes, we're closing in on three-quarter time. It's still anyone's game.
So long ball back in, one goal forward for Solo. Oh, good strong contest in the air. Beats a couple here at ground level for Solo to Crocker. He got it away on the boot. Jock can take the mark, slip through his fingers. He knocks it on. Still a chance for Gallucci, top of the square. Missed it. Sandringham come and defend. Well played, Noon. Got it away. They need to clear the space. Goddard with a long ball, having to sit underneath it. Hill over the top. Smith, he couldn't take it, and they'll toss it back in. 55 around for the point post. Commentary side of the ground. Tight game of footy here. 3 points the margin. Sandy in front. Second half for Identifiber.
And Footscray closing in on Port Melbourne. I'll give you a score in a sec as the ball spills free here. No one can get clean possession. Sandringham with the opportunities they move up the ground.
Dunstan handball away. Here comes Bailey. Zilla around the corner. Long high ball lammed on Hoare. Fisted away. Ground level. Away is Bailey. Can he come on the end of it? Canellan gets it. He comes on his left and he says, "Thank you very much."
Oh, has it gone through?
It hasn't gone through. It landed and bounced back. That oval ball did every person at the ground and about 20 of the players as well, who all stopped and watched and started to celebrate and then thought, gee, I better go and get it. And Crocker's got it deep in the back pocket. He finds Hoare. It's had everything. What a game of footy. Hoare over the top. He finds Borthwick cleverly by hand. He goes to Crocker. Underground ball for Tahana. He's going to the wing. Now on the end of it, Blair's got to go and fetch against Goddard. The bigger frame gets there first and wins the day. He got it across to Noon, who lost a handle on it. It's over the line. They'll toss it back in. Half forward flank for Collingwood, who are attacking but trailing by 3 points on the Tyre Power scoreboard.
I was right in front of you, Hilly, there, Noon.
Had a little fumble. He's been really solid all game, but just a little fumble there under pressure.
It is the pressure, exactly right. Lynch getting the tap down for Collingwood, but plenty of numbers here for Sandringham. Seckel went around like they weren't there, sold a hell of a lot of candies. Kick up the line though, has been turned over. Just give you a quick score while we've got the chance here. It's 11-9-75 Port Melbourne. Footscray 9-7-61, 22 minutes into the third term there at Whitten Oval. I'll get you a score from Essendon in a moment, but Tardru's got it in the middle of the ground. Got Smith on the overlap. It goes by hand. Looking there for Hetherington. Hetherington's kick going out in the gold sack direction. He fumbles, but he's got plenty of time to pick up and space as well. In the middle of the ground on that outer side. Smith running for him. The kick perfect. And he's just being held up on the mark here, Smith.
He played for it, didn't he?
Absolutely. The umpire wasn't fooled. 60 from goal. He goes with a short option. Oh, beat everyone. Seckel was there waiting for it. Numbers here. Minchington for Sandringham. Back to Seckel. They work it into the middle of the ground. Picked up there by Bailey. Bailey's kick up towards a very open 50. Lamb goes handball over the top. Hayden. Oh, he lost it at the crucial moment. Tardru was there. His kick finds Smith in the middle of Victoria Park. And the Pies got them on the rebound. The kick goes out to Woodward all on his own. Centre wing. Grandstand side. As he just holds up. He goes with a short ball inboard. And they're just building again. Wellings will kick a long ball inside the 50. Oh, yes. Lynch has got it. And the tall timber getting the job done. All 200 centimetres. Max Lynch takes it. And he will line up and have a shot inside, just inside the 50. Hilly, you're right behind this kick. He'll kick from just inside. What does he need to do here? No breeze to speak of.
Absolutely no breeze to speak of. Just natural right to left bend for him.
Yep, so he just kicks it. He's trying to bring it back. He's bringing it back. Oh, yes! He has. Fourth goal for the season for Max Lynch. Important goal for Collingwood as we close in on three-quarter time here at Victoria Park. 8:11:59. Collingwood 8.856 Sandringham. That's all on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Get the power of expert advice at Tyre Power. This half for Peter Jackson VFL Live for identifiable asbestos and hazardous material testing. I'll get you some scores as well around the grounds in just a moment. 21 playing 16. Essendon leading the Northern Blues. That's second quarter action at Windy Hill. And I'll get you a score as we move closer to three-quarter time at Whitten Oval as well.
10 goals kicked in the last 2 quarters to the Sharon Stand and Hilly, but no advantage in the breeze.
None whatsoever.
Sandringham trying to get going, but Woodward was having none of it. He tumbles it inside the 50, bouncing board for Solo's got one to beat. Is he being held on to? He wanted a free kick. He still wants a free kick. He's got his arms flapping about. He's saying, what about me? And they're saying no. He'll have to go and get it again. They'll toss it in. Forward pocket. 20 around from the point post. Sharon Stand in. Collingwood have had it all their way in this third term, been good to watch. They've come back strongly. Hellier can't take the footy. McLean did. Lost it forward. It's a throw. It's a throw. Don't run forward. Don't take the advantage. Do not pass go. Take the shot. And that's exactly what they'll do.
Very good advice, Leedsy, and they've just steadied here, the Pies, and this is such an important kick. We're closing in on three-quarter time.
And it's Callum Brown who's going to take the shot. He'll be 37 metres out, slightly better than 45-degree angle. He has 1-1 to his name. The Pies lead by 3 points before the kick as we approach the 32.5-minute mark of this third term. To extend the lead, he waltzes in. He is a man built for pressure. That's just might be an important kick as they roll into a potential top 4 spot in the last round of the year. He makes no mistake, and on the Tyre Power scoreboard, Collingwood 9-11-65 leads Sandringham 8-8-56.
Really good response from the Pies, and obviously they lost the lead only 5 minutes or so ago, and they've just responded with 2 really good goals and well set up going forward, and on that occasion good pressure from Brown, and he's had a really good game. He's been a solid VFL player all year and had some opportunity at AFL level, and I think Collingwood fans should be very excited with his progress throughout this year and what he might be in a year or so's time.
27 plays 16 at Windy Hill. Essendon leading midway through the second quarter there as Woodward trying to extract it. Got it across to Blair, who finds some space in the middle of Victoria Park. Runs his absolute full measure and kicks inside the 50. Ball beating the initial pack. Running onto it again is Lynch. He's got a paddle in front of him. It's not easy for the big man. Oh, Halley has picked it up. Handball across. Here's an opportunity. Brown. He's just holding his handball. He's sort of caught in the pocket. Minchington picked it up for Sandringham. Oh, his kick was smothered. Worked it across for Solo. Here's another opportunity. Hallier goes to the top of the goal square. No mark taken. They pile in on top. Eventually McClarty gets it out. Here's another one. Another one for the Pies. I think it's Lynch who's kicked it. It is. And a bit of push and shove too. I think he's just throwing the weight around. Well, that's a crucial goal going into three-quarter time. That's his second. 8-8-56. They're stranded on it, Sandringham. And it's 10-11-71 Collingwood. That's on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Get the power of expert advice at Tyre Power. And that could be the straw that broke the camel's back. You don't want to go too early on these things, but you just get that feeling.
Yeah, they've got the sniff for it, Hilly. They look hungry again.
Yeah, they do. I'd say they might have got a bit of a break at half-time. They've certainly...
20 point lead for Port Melbourne over Footscray. That's 31 minutes into the third quarter there. Here, it's three-quarter time at Victoria Park. And it's Collingwood 10-11-71. And it's Sandringham 8-8-56. That's on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Get the power of expert advice at Tyre Power. And of course, it's half for Peter Jackson VFL Live for identifiable asbestos and hazardous material testing. Goal kickers to three-quarter time. We've got 2 goals each to Callum Brown, Lynch and Gallucci, and singles to Fasolo, Blair, Crocker and Hallier, and a little asterisk next to that, and 2 contenders for Mark of the Year from McClarty and also from Crocker. And for Sandringham, 4 goals to Tom Lamb, all in that second quarter. He's going to need to turn it on again in the last quarter. And singles to Seckle, Hayden Hill and Owens. So, boy, it's going to be an interesting final quarter. The equation's simple for Collingwood to keep those top 4 hopes alive. They need to win here with Sandringham out of finals contention. And just repeating, approaching three-quarter time at Whitten Oval. 12-9-81, Port Melbourne. Footscray, 9-7-61. They've gone 31 minutes into the third quarter there. On the other side of the break, we'll bring you that three-quarter time score at Windy Hill. Essendon 27, the Northern Blues 16 into the second term there. A break, big final quarter to come. Stick around wherever you're watching and listening to us. This is Peter Jackson, VFL Live.
Go large for less with the large chips from Red Rooster for just $2. Yes, $2 for large chips. Don't miss out. Head into Red Rooster today. T's and C's apply. See website for details.
Hello, Frank Walker from National Tiles. These are the facts. The largest selling tile in Australia is 60 by 30 gloss white. Some companies sell this tile for around $30 per metre. Most tile companies sell it for around $20 per metre. National Tiles price for this identical tile in first quality, not seconds, is just $9.95 per metre every day of the year. Check the facts for yourself now at nationaltiles.com.au.
On behalf of all lovers of schnitz, we humbly thank the parents of Roman Papa Schnitz Dyduk, because long ago on a typical cold Polish morning, if not for their chance meeting on the 7:04 a.m. bus, their shared love of crumbs would never have been explored. And Roman, a future schnitzel expert, never born. Today, Papa Schnitz, together with his sons Tom and Andrew, continue to share their family obsession of crumbs at Schnitz Family Restaurants. Please, be our guest. Schnitz, handmade, hand-cooked.
If you download a radio app, you could listen anywhere. Even at your cousin's wedding. I mean, you can catch the game right there. At work, no one would notice that you're listening to that show until it makes you LOL and sing the hits you know. If you download a radio app, you could listen while in bed. You'd never hear another snore and drift off to jazz instead. So download it at the App Store or at Google Play, and 250 Aussie stations will be just one swipe away. Radio app, your radio wherever you are.
Fitting brake pads are part of every mechanic's day. Bendix brakes help you do a better job. With the unique Bendix wear indicator, you know at a glance if they need replacing. And the Bendix catalogue app will tell you the right brake pads to fit. Next time you're fitting brake pads, fit Bendix brake pads. They're designed in Australia for Australian conditions and Aussie mechanics. No other brakes can say that. Don't accept anything less. Bendix brakes. Put your foot down with confidence.
Kids nowadays always got their faces stuck in their screens. So I said, right, family time is important. So at dinner time, the internet goes off. So we can sit together and chat.
Introducing iPrimer's Us Time. It lets you pause your internet anytime, like family time.
Turn the internet back on, please, Mum.
The most flexible internet you can get.
That's us.
iPrimer's.
Internet services only. No pro rata credit applies.
The Toyota Good for Footy round has helped raise much needed money for local clubs around Australia, like the Northern Saints, a footy club that strives to provide an inclusive environment for everyone. Thanks to Toyota, they raised $4,000 and are using it to help keep membership costs low and kickstart their very first girls program. Now that's good for footy. Toyota, oh what a feeling.
Hi, I'm Jared Conroy, founder of Prana Energy Commercial Solar. Every day I talk to Australian businesses that are really feeling the pain of skyrocketing power prices hitting their bottom line. In the last decade, Prana Energy has become one of Australia's most trusted solar and electrical companies. My mandate as the founder of Prana Energy is to give back control to Australian businesses by reducing power bills and operating costs. For solar or battery storage solutions, contact us at Prana Energy. That's pranaenergy.com.au.
Peter Jackson, VFL Live, VFL.com.au.
What a final quarter we have for you. The Collingwood side, they're playing for a top 4 position on the Peter Jackson VFL ladder. 10-11-71 at three-quarter time. 8-8-56 is Sandringham, and a big crowd around the Collingwood huddle too. We'll get down to Hilly. If you get Jared Rivers, Hilly, just jump straight in over the top of us. And we'll see if we can get him as well. Three-quarter time here at Victoria Park. Three-quarter time at the Whitten Oval as well. It is a 21-point lead to Port Melbourne. They are 12-10-82. The Footscray side 9-7-61. That's three-quarter time there. Playing for a final spot is Footscray. Jump straight in.
Yeah,
Hilly.
thanks, Pete. Joined by Jared Rivers. The message at half-time obviously sunk in. There was a great quarter of footy from your team.
Yeah, we thought our first half we just didn't play our footy at all, mate. We were second to the footy. Credit to Sandy, they outworked and hunted us. So we just had to fix that contest right. So I thought that quarter then we did. Got back up. I think we were plus 11 contested possession that quarter. So that just sums up our brand of footy.
A lot of selfless footy as well. A lot of move the footy, move it fast.
Yeah, like we focused on half time. I didn't think we were at our best at that team. That selflessness, in giving that first give. So clearly that third quarter, when we do it, we look so more predictable with the ball.
It must be nice to have some great forwards up forward, grabbing some big grabs.
Yeah, it was great grab by Croc, and that's just getting us back to the contest, mate. I think when we try and stuff around with the ball in the back half, we can just back our contest in forward of the footy, and we've got some really dangerous forwards.
No worries, Jared. Thanks again for your time on VFL Live, and good luck.
Well, good. Thanks, mate.
Nicely done. Thank you, Hilly, there with Jared Rivers, and thanks to Collingwood and Sandringham and all the clubs across the season for the access that we get to coaches and players. It really helps enhance what we do here on VFL.com.au and on 1377 SEN Plus. Now, at that three-quarter time score, by the way, the race for the Frosty Miller medal for the leading goal kicker, I'm looking at the goal kickers to three-quarter time, and I see that they've kicked 12 goals, Port Melbourne. Jade Lyle's name's not appearing. He's two behind Nick Larkey. And they're just underway too, and I'm trying to keep up with all of these. We'll focus on the main two games, but we'll try and give you as many scores as we can in this final quarter. But obviously our focus here at Victoria Park. Can Sandringham get back? 10-11-71 Collingwood. Sandringham, their last quarter for 2018 coming up, 8-8-56. On the Tyre Power scoreboard, get the power of expert advice at Tyre Power, and here's Michael Leeds to get us underway in this final term.
So a 7-2 burst in that third quarter has given Collingwood the ascendancy, and straight away they're going to get a free kick. Jock's going to take it right in the middle of Victoria Park. Gets it inside the 50 for Solo's going to fly at ground level. Sandringham defenders asked to go to work. Pickpocketed by Fasolo, who throws it on the boot. It's going to go deep in the pocket. Won't be a goal. Won't be a point. It'll be out of bounds and they'll toss it in.
Energy just coming out of the huddle at three-quarter time with the Pies, that they know there's a lot on the line here, and if they can get and results go their way, they can certainly lock into this top four spot.
They're going to have to buck the trend. This is the non-scoring end so far this morning / this afternoon, as Seckle comes away from the back pocket. He drives a long ball, Jock's underneath it. He takes a good mark. Gee, looks a player.
And should be 50. No.
He has got some weapons, this fella. Not sure we'll be seeing him for too long beyond this year. He goes inside the 50. Big fly again, this time from Lynch, who got the knee in the back but forgot to take the footy. Sandringham come up with it. Bailey, handball inboard. Jock stole it away. Handball fired out. Finds Blair from Brown. He goes flank side. He wants his man Hetherington to keep it in, and he does. Only just. Swings back around on the right boot. Heads inside the 50. Magnificent hit. Dacos is on the end of it. He'll take it from 45 out directly in front. The vision first, but then the skill to lace him out.
I reckon there are Collingwood supporters now just going through their minds or sitting on the terraces in years gone by with that name, Dacos. Just, instant. As soon as you hear the all these highlights come to mind.
And he's just a little short to the left. He just laid back. He just took the wrong club, I suspect. Swung it okay, but not the distance on it. Sandringham try and get out of trouble, but they're in all sorts. Bailey picks up the loose ball. Handball back. They need a mark Sandringham to relieve the pressure that's not coming. Woodward goes inside the 50 and finds a man again.
Deja vu, perhaps?
No, hopefully he's learnt from the last one here. He's further out, but pretty much directly in front. So I'm sure that he can kick the distance. He just didn't look like he gave it everything last time. His run-up starts inside the centre square. Now he gets to the 50. Kick on its way. It's close this time. It's much better. He had a better caddy. And there's a man that learns from his mistakes. They're on to 77 Collingwood, looking every bit the top 4 contenders that they are now to 88.56 Sandringham on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Get the power of expert advice at Tyre Power.
Just the slightest afternoon breeze, just picking up a little bit at the moment too, and it would be slightly favouring the Collingwood end at the moment.
Half time at Windy Hill, and it is 4-3-27 Essendon, the Northern Blues 2-5-17.
Gee, wouldn't the Blues love to knock over the Bombers? Just keep them teetering on out of the 8.
I'll get you a score from Whitten Oval when they get into the final quarter in a moment. Blair just trying to just tack the ball out. Jock laying the tackle. And everyone gets to their feet. We'll do it all over again. In the circles. Ruckman nominate. Jock flies over the top. That's an amazing vertical leap. And again, another pack of players. And again, it's held up. So 77 plays 56. Tyre Power scoreboard. Get the power of expert advice at Tyre Power, Hilly.
He's really showing his versatility, Jock, being able to play in the ruck, but realistically he's more of a midfielder and wingman.
Here's Dacos again, receiving the outboard handball. The kick inside the 50, beats the initial pack. Leach has got to do some work, but it's been picked up by Lomitz, whose kick, dangerous, but still found Goddard. McClarty bearing down on him. He's called to play on by the umpire, so he's just going to go a chipping ball short. Potentially a dangerous option as they muck around with it here. Phillips sold his teammate into a little bit of trouble. That's Hill, and it's near the boundary line. It goes over, and we'll have it thrown in on that outer side. It's half for Peter Jackson VFL Live for identifiable asbestos and hazardous material testing. There's the ball to be tossed back in. Jock and McLean. Beats both of them, so McLean will have another go at it, trying to punch it forward. Smith laying the tackle for Collingwood. The umpire says, I'll have it. So 4 minutes into this final quarter, it's Collingwood with the advantage. It's again untidy from the ruck contest. Jock picked it up, just handballing underground, but it's been picked up. Weikart, Dunstan, across the ground they go. Path here of Claverino is going to be under all sorts of pressure. Nicely done, Crocker. Gets to his feet, kicks inside 50. Oh, mark not taken. Free kick, though, holding free kick. It will go the way of being one of the best players for Sandringham today, Nick Caulfield.
Yeah, against Borthwick, who's not had his best day. As the little kick's okay for Dunstan. His defensive arc, it's right off the side of the boot. It allows McClarty, and he couldn't take the mark. Cleaned up his man in front of him, then picked up the footy. Needs to get rid of it, can't. That's a free kick against. That wasn't a good 60 seconds for the Pies. And it's going to be taken quickly by Phillips, who heads to the outer side. Sandringham realise they need to get going now. Seckle, handballed inboard. Clark. Inside the 50, can he find a man? Minchington has it fisted away by Brown, who takes it away after getting it from Tardrew. He fires off the handball to Smith, who retreats to gold sack. And the old timer just kicks it across the ground nicely, finds Hetherington. Can they open up some space? Oh, Crocker got a horrible oval ball bounce. Jock smothers the kick from McLean. Now he goes to work again. Did he push him in the back? No, he kept his feet, and he wins the day for the Pies. And now he shepherds, and Crocker's away.
Oh, that was brilliant stuff. Woodward takes the mark in the middle of the ground. He kept running. Jock's got it again. He keeps going. Now the long ball. It's a one-on-one contest for Solo. Yes! Takes the mark. No, not paid. Umpire said play on. Lomitz grabs him down the tackle. There's the Sandy player down. I think he's okay. Little short ball finds Dunstan. And they can just reset here again, the Zebras. Handball across the ground. Yeah, they've just got to get out there. Phillips finds Dunstan, who kicks a long ball. Lamb on the long lead. Oh, he dropped what he should have taken there in the end. In comes Marty Hall. There's a high tackle. It's going to go Lamb's way. Interesting. And he plays on too. He's 55 from goal. Oh, the kick right to the top hot spot. Now an opportunity. Hayden. It's a high ball to the goal square. And it's going to be marked by Crocker. He's made his way all the way down the other end of the ground. And he takes the defensive mark for Collingwood. As it's 77 playing 56. That kick's okay. Finds Wills. Collingwood leading Tyre Power scoreboard.
He goes back through the middle. Dangerous kick. But gee, Hetherington was up to the task. He got it back to Wills. He played on in all sorts of trouble, holding the footy. Well, that might have been a team prior opportunity there. Although Wills did really try and dart his way through the traffic.
Yeah, he certainly tried to take the tackler on there, and that's the 100% correct decision from the umpire.
I'm not sure that Hayden's the man to be taking on in the tackle. Well, I think there are better targets.
Hayden's the one you want kicking the goal, though. Leading goal kicker for Sandy this season.
With 22, this is right on the paint of 50. It's going to be a little shallow to the right for one behind. So Tyre Power scoreboard, 77 to 57, 20 points the margin, Collingwood in front.
Marty Hall goes short, the back pocket. Tardrew takes the mark. Just trying to get around Canellan. We'll just go with another short option. Dacos not 15, so he'll have to go back round now. Appleby, whistle, what's going on here? The umpire says 50 metres.
50 metre penalty from contact after.
Okay.
I'm not sure why the umpire is now only standing on the ground. Surely it's further than that.
Well,
yeah, it's okay. But yeah, basically, you just cannot, after a player handballs the ball away, you cannot retard that player, and that's the penalty.
So Wellings has it. Meanwhile, they're on the wing here, the Pies. It's Smith, a long kick inside 50 for Collingwood, for Solo, trying to get the drop. It's still bouncing towards goal. Picked up by Caulfield for Sandringham, though, and an excellent kick to relieve the pressure. He finds Bailey. Bailey takes the mark on the boundary line. Broadcast side goes short. Claverino had to be clean. He takes the mark. Half back, near the boundary line. And 50 metres again. Well, told to get back on the mark. He didn't. And so, Claverino will go from half back. He'll go from centre wing. And not only is it 50 metres, it's a better angle as well. He moved into the middle of the ground. The kick, looking for Lamb. He's got 2 to beat. Falls to the back. Goldsack handball across. Finds Smith in the defensive goal square. His kick wide, and it's good. They've got options here, the Pies, on this outer side. Wellings being good today. Finds Smith, who takes the mark, plays on, kicks up to Dacos, who takes the mark on that outer side. And 50 metres again. Goodness me. Getting the quota up here of 50 metre penalties in this final term.
Getting technical.
77 plays 57. It's a 20-point lead to Collingwood. As we come down now, Dacos will just handball off to Wellings, who kicks inside 50, and Blair, strong mark. He was crunched as he went down, maybe milking it slightly, but he did cop some attention, and he'll line up and have the shot. Very kickable this one, 45 metres out, looking at the 45 angle. Get you a score from Whitten Oval in a moment too.
This has got late blowout written all over it, boys. One team going for top 4, the other looking forward to the end of the season.
As we wait for Blair to come. He kicked a goal in the second quarter. Jared Blair, he steps in. Kick on the way. Is it drifting back? Yep, it is. 2 to Blair. And Collingwood just pushing themselves along now. A bit of cheer squad action as well. Cheer squad. Well, I'm sure a group has already gone ahead to Perth. There'll be some left behind, and they're here. 12-11-83 Collingwood, 8-9-57 Sandringham, and that's on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Get the power of expert advice at Tyre Power. This half of Peter Jackson VFL Live for identifiable asbestos and hazardous material testing. 9 minutes in the final quarter at the Whitten Oval. We've gone 11 minutes here, 9 there, and 20 points still the margin. Port Melbourne are leading Footscray. And as I mentioned, half-time at Windy Hill. And it's a handy lead to Essendon over the Northern Blues.
Back in the middle, and here come the Pies again. Woodward got it from Hellier. He looks over the top to Wellings. Hellier laid a bump and then goes back and receives the handball. Might have copped a little bit high there. Woodward spins out of and then into trouble. And the umpire says, I'll toss it up. I think I can hear the ice cream van.
Is it? Is it the ice cream van?
My ears are usually pretty hot on the old ice cream van. And it's a sign of the times as the sun comes out and September is closing in on us. Here's Smith, handball away to Wellings. He got it to Woodward, gets it to half forward, beat a couple for Solo, little punch over the top. Sandringham first back, Caulfield had a chance. McLarty cleared the space, picked up the footy and handballed over the top to Borthwick. He retreated, Hetherington one way the other, then to McLarty, round the body, hooking, high ball, didn't get any of it. Right to the line for Solo. He was like the outfielder who had to sit and wait for it to come down, and he read it nicely. He wanted to play on around the corner from 10 metres directly in front. I think the umpire's just calling him back for sense. He wanted to play on. He's literally 10 metres out. But he had to sit underneath that for quite some time. And do you know what? He went around the corner again. So that's his modus operandi, and it gets the job done. 89 now, Collingwood. Sandringham 57. The shoulders start to slump for Sandringham. And this is going to become a very comfortable win for the Pies.
Around the grounds too at Avalon Airport Oval. Werribee 3-2-20, North Melbourne 2-2-14, 15 minutes into the first quarter. It's all happening at the moment. We've got 4 live games going on in the Peter Jackson VFL.
It's the way it should be, Pete.
I agree, but it's just making it's very hard to keep track of what's going on and call the game at the same time. 20 points still the margin, 12 minutes in the final quarter at Whitten Oval. We'll keep a closer eye on that one over the others. As the ball heading forward here for Collingwood. It's been picked up there. Clark just getting the handball out for Sandringham under pressure. Lomas lost it, had it, lost it again. Jock, he's just brushed the tackle again. Off to Wills. Off to Woodward, kick to the top of the goal square. Coming in noon, oh, he lost it. Now handball over the top. Crocker, easy as you like. Easy as you like. That is Crocker's second goal of the afternoon. And as Leedsy pointed out, the floodgates are starting to open big time now for Collingwood. 8-9-57 Sandringham. They've just added the one behind in this final term, but Collingwood really pushing along now. They are 14-11-95 on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Get the power of expert advice at Tyre Power.
And this half of Peter Jackson VFL Live for identifiable asbestos and hazardous material testing has been all Collingwood. 7 goals in the third term and another 4 already in this final term. They're looking ominous. Can you imagine, gentlemen, Jock running through the middle of Etihad?
Yes.
On grand final day?
Yes.
Wow. He's in the ruck now, knocking it down for Callum Brown, who got it away to Hellier. Look for Brown on the return. He has to go and get it, does Callum? He does. Retreats. That's okay. Appleby's on the end of it, gets it to Tahana, who finds Hetherington, who kept running. Down the line to Tardrew, who takes a nice mark. Spins away quickly. Got it to Borthwick. Time to fill your boots, Gussie. Handball to Tardrew. Sold him into a bit of strife in the end, but he was good enough to get it to Woodward. Quickly away to Callum Brown, who kicks on the outside of his right boot, and that's nice to Jock. Oh, he made a rare mistake. He dropped it. He goes back to get it, though. Now he lays a strong tackle, and they'll toss it up.
Just the race for the Frosty Miller medal on top of everything else too, Leedsy. Lyle's got 2 behinds, Larky's got 1 behind.
Oh, that's a bit of an anti-climax there. I hope they're both not injured. Woodward, handball out the back. Wellings through traffic. Little toe poke, okay. Blair took it. Blair gets the mark. 40 out directly in front.
Played a great game today. Jared Blair led from the front all day. Even when the chips were down early in that second quarter, or midway through that second quarter, he's one of their best. And he's certainly continued on with the job and helped carry his team through the second half.
Yeah, just the perfect bloke to have around this VFL team, isn't he? He's been there, done that, cool head, puts his head over it, and I don't want to moz him, but he usually finishes pretty well. He's got 15 from 13 games this year. He's got another now. Split the middle. The Pies are marching on here. Tyre Power scoreboard, get the power of expert advice at Tyre Power. Sees Collingwood bring up their 15th of the afternoon. They're 15-11-101. And the visitors 8-9-58.
Is that right?
No, doesn't sound it.
It just doesn't sound right.
My maths isn't really good, you know that, Pete. Once I get past fingers and toes, I struggle.
Alright, I don't think you can have a... If it's 8-9, as we got another ball up in the middle here, we'll do it again. That one barely making it to the heads of the 2 ruckmen. As now it's thrown up. Jock flying high, did well, got it down to Brown, who's just pushed off it by Minchington, who also lost a handle on it. Blair trying to come through. Being dacked there was Dunstan. He managed to get the ball away. Phillips just being held off. A good shepherding work. Dacos trying to come through, but he fumbles as well. Jock, second, third, fourth efforts. Gets it across to Tardru, who's sold into trouble. Owens wraps him up, and the umpire will throw it up. Just get some clarification on that Sandringham score as the ball's tossed up. Working way through is Tardru. Seckle back to Dunstan for Sandringham. They go inside 50, but Lamb's hopelessly out of position. Is the mark going to be paid? It is. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, it's Flynn Appleby who's got it.
The umpire standing 5 metres away didn't pay that mark. That mark was paid from the centre square.
Wellings gets it across. Here's Tyler Brown, who kicks outside the 50. Ball through the Jock contest. Now it's worked back out. Safranides getting through there for Sandringham. The kick inside 50 looking for Lamb. He can't take it. Again, Appleby on hands and knees. Did he drag the footy in? He's being held up and the umpire says, no, give it to me. 14 points the margin at Whitten Oval. 18 minutes played. Port Melbourne leading Footscray. Here it's going to be a win for Collingwood as Jock flies high again in the ruck contest. Out, Seckle across, Lamb has a flying shot at the goal and puts it out of bounds on the full. Sums up the quarter really. 101 plays... Well, 8-9.
It's 8-9-57. I'm not convinced it's 8-9-98, or I'm not convinced it's 8-9-38. But it's Collingwood who are well in control. 101-57 on the Tyre Power scoreboard as Dacos comes away from half-back, has a bounce and then kicks down the line.
Gee, we've had a few players today who've run a long way.
I don't think the Collingwood fans are all that impressed with that decision. As Weikart comes up with it, 80 from home, he's going to stab it into the pocket. Wonderful effort from Tahana to go back, but he didn't get a touch on it. Gee, I thought he got a fingertip.
Yeah, I think he's just letting the umpire know that.
Owens took the mark with oncoming traffic, so no trouble with his effort either, and he will go back and have the shot.
He's already kicked one from this spot earlier in the game.
So he knows the area. 1-1 to his name for the day. He's done it again. No. Just a little bit away to the right and hit the post. So one behind. 101-58 now on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Collingwood in front.
As Flynn Appleby to bring the ball back in. Big tick for him in his return to football. Same for Tyson Goldsack. He's kick looking for McClarty. A couple of standing players flew. I don't know if they were going specifically for the ball. Anyway, Phillips just struggling to get this ball out. The umpire will throw it up. Tyre Power scoreboard. Get the power of expert advice at Tyre Power. This half of Peter Jackson VFL Live for identifiable asbestos and hazardous material testing. Into time on in this final quarter. Pies are going to record a win. Give them the advantage temporarily, see if they can wrap up fourth spot. Now Smith, the advantage free kick to Blair as they work their way up from half-back along the boundary line. Brown, beautiful handball across. And they've still got runners alongside. Blair's kept running. It's a high ball. It's inside 50. It's Lynch. Fasolo just waving him in. Open goal square and he pips it through.
Great end-to-end footy there, Pete.
It was excellent transition from this Collingwood side, who are going to be in fourth place. How temporary is that? We will find out. Well, depending on what happens with Williamstown later on today, but they've done their bit, and they are going to record a big win here. So 8-10-58, that scoreboard now adjusted for Sandringham. 16-11-107 Collingwood. Tyre Power scoreboard. Power of expert advice at Tyre Power, keeping a close eye on what's happening at the Whitten Oval. We'll let you know at the moment that is 14 points the margin, and that was 18 minutes into the final quarter. So plenty of scores around the place too. I think they're singing the song on the terraces here, Leedsy.
And there might be more to come. Gallucci on the end of it, handball down the line to Smith, and they look impressive. Left foot kick, beats no, doesn't beat Goddard. He was in the right place, takes the mark and got it across to Dunstan. Handball inboard. Now they're in trouble here. McClarty closing down Caulfield. Turnovers on Borthwick. Can he get rid of it? He does. Left foot high ball, and that's nicely weighted. Well played, Gus. Got it to Crocker. Swings around on the right. Can he peel it back enough? No. It's raining shots, if not goals at the moment. 108 to 58, Tyre Power scoreboard. Get the power of expert advice at Tyre Power this second half for Identifiber.
Asbestos and hazardous material testing. It's still a 14-point margin at Whitten Oval, 22 minutes into the final quarter there. Fitzgray's season hanging by a thread. As you see Sofronides going in the 1-2 on the handball with Clark, who was dealt with after he kicked the ball. So downfield free kick, or will it go back?
It's going to be downfield.
Downfield or 50? No, downfield.
Look to have lucky.
So as Lamb's got it, 55 from goal. So he's just going to put it to the top of the square. Oh, flying there, McLean didn't take the mark. Here's a chance around the body from Dunstan. One behind. 8-11-59, 16-12, 108. Collingwood leading Tyre Power scoreboard. The power of expert advice at Tyre Power as we keep an eye on everything happening around the place. Full scores, ladders, everything. This one's done. We're 23 and a half minutes into the final term.
Dacos has it, back pocket, steers it into Smith, handballs quickly, and they're still in their defensive 50. Tardrew needs to find a target and does, and this might open up. Will's got it away from Hellier. Handball looping over the top to Woodward onto Wellings. Look at them bust through the middle of Victoria Park. McClarty 55 out. Can he find a man? No, he misses Hetherington, who's got to go deep into the pocket to find it. Goes over the line.
Just breaking in there again, Leedsy. 20 points now the margin. Port Melbourne are going to beat Footscray at the Whitten Oval this afternoon. So Footscray out of the finals race for 2018.
Good news for Port Melbourne fans.
Yes, we'll get there. What happens to them after the match, after we're done here.
Ball toss back in. Just a little short of the contest, so players have to go to work. McClarty couldn't quite. Hellier could. Left foot snap. Oh, hit the post.
Hit both of them, actually.
That's a fair effort by any measurement. 109 to 59. Tyre Power scoreboard. Get the power of expert advice at Tyre Power.
2 minutes into the third quarter at Windy Hill. Essendon 4-4, Northern Blues 2-5. We'll get you a Werribee score shortly. Meanwhile, though, boy, it's all happening. What a great day for footy. The Peter Jackson VFL. Anyway, Sandringham have it. Whitecard's got to sit under the footy. Wills just a little bit crude there. He's going to take the free kick here as the Sandringham player, the former skipper. 5-2-32 Werribee, North Melbourne 3-6-24. As we've got another free kick, and it's going again Sandringham's way. Kick inside 50. Lamb just having a paddle in front of him. Oh, just taken away from him by Hetherington, if you don't mind. He streams from 50. He kicks up towards centre wing. It's a 2-on-1, and Crock's got a bit of work to do. Goes out of bounds. And we'll have it thrown in, and fortuitous there for Crocker that was right near the interchange gates because he said, I'm coming off. I don't want to risk anyone here if there's any niggles or anything like that. Great start to the day for the Pies. Of course, we've got the Dockers over in Perth later on. And that match we'll hear live on 11:16. SEN Jock working his way through. Gallucci bounces off the tackle. He's got to go inboard. He's in the middle of the ground. He finds Dacos. Dacos kicks inside the 50. And that's for Solo taking the mark. And he should just go back and have a shot now. It's time ticks down. 26 minutes gone here. Big win coming up for the Pies. Fasolo's kicked 2 goals today, taking his tally to 23 for the season. Match with Andrew Gallucci.
This will be his 7th shot on goal though, Pete, so he's had a bit of a
long run up to, kicking pretty much directly in front. From outside the 50, gives it absolutely everything. And that is why they are doing the number on Sandringham right now. Fasolo puts through his 3rd goal with no problems at all, and Collingwood are going to record a big win. And I tell you the other thing too, Hilly, this mob, they're building confidence as well. Massive winners last week, big winners here today. priming themselves for a finals campaign.
They certainly are, and they had that bit of a lull in the season, but they've certainly picked themselves back up again, and they've got a few players back, obviously, from the AFL level, which has helped. But their VFL listed players are outstanding, and they've done the bulk of the work this year.
17-13, 115 Collingwood. Sandringham 8-11-59 on the Tyre Power scoreboard. Get the power of expert advice at Tyre Power. This half of Peter Jackson VFL Live for identifiable asbestos and hazardous material testing.
Here come the Pies again. On the end of it this time, Gallucci at half forward inside the 50. Spears it to Fasolo. Now don't you think about passing this. He's 5 in from the boundary line.
Wrap up the leading goal kicking for Collingwood VFL.
He just showed that he's got a beautiful kick on him. And in finals, you're going to need blokes to go back and kick big goals. So why not? He's got 24. We'll bring up his 25th if he can slot it home. He's hit it well, but he's hit it to the left. Not dissimilar to an average golfer.
He's had a big second half, and certainly in the first half he took a couple of nice marks, but outside of that really wasn't getting a lot of football. But this second half he's presented well. He's finished off his work, didn't on that occasion, but he should be pretty happy with his second half.
Long ball outside 50. McLean caught one in the back in the marking contest. No call from the umpire. The umpire will come in and throw it up. As we wait for full time over at Whitten Oval, won't be too far away. Port Melbourne are going to beat Footscray. Give you a race for Frosty. We'll give you all the live games as Jock just comes flying in to contest that ruck contest. And again, we've got another stalemate. And again, the umpire will come in. We'll be with you as well on 1377 SEN+. A little bit of action on 1116 SEN as well. And a little bit on VFL.com.au. All the details tonight, where the finals are going to be, what our broadcast schedule is. We'll have that for you on VFL.com.au. A little bit later on tonight as Jock, he just kicks again up towards centre half forward. McClarty went through his hands. Hellier trying to do the work. Oh, he paddled it beautifully. Handball across. Wellings. Goal. Wellings has kicked the goal. Callan's got his first for the afternoon, and the floodgates well and truly open now here at Victoria Park. And the cheer squad are loving every minute of this. You think, Hilly, they might be retiring to one of the drinking establishments in the area and cheering on the Pies over in Perth later on this afternoon.
I dare say it could be a big afternoon for the Collingwood supporters.
Well, they're getting the job done here. 18-14, 122, plays 8-11-59 on the Tyre Power scoreboard. And we're ticking down to full time. Almost 30 minutes gone in this final quarter. And still Port Melbourne leading Footscray. Oh yeah, they're getting it done now. 15-12, 102. Footscray 11-10-76. 30 minutes played there.
His job comes away to the wing, finds Dacos, had a lot of the footy today, goes inside the 50, can't find a teammate initially, strong tackling from Gallucci, it's built to Verma, high ball to the wing, one-on-one for Tahana to go to work on, had it, lost it, and doubles back, picks up the loose ball, Smith got the handball to Hetherington, back inboard to Woodward, needs to get rid of it and does, squeeze it off the side, well played to Wellings. And now Cameron has it. Around the body he goes. Kick was partially smothered. Allows Seckle to come in. Picks up the loose footy. Sandringham with the numbers through the middle. Dunstan goes with a long ball. Can they make the most of it? One-on-one. Good stuff, Hoare. Double back. Beat Slam on this occasion. That's been a good contest all afternoon. And Hoare has it again on his defensive goal square. Oh, two players all on their own now. Hetherington had time to drop the mark, pick it up, give it to Brown. This is Tyler who gets it back to Hetherington, who goes across the ground. And the Pies have done all they can. They'll have a wait to find out, but they could be in the top four by the end of the rounds. They win convincingly against Sandringham. The Tyre Power scoreboard 18-14, 122 to 8-11-59.
Massive win here for the Pies. They get the job done. Well, they didn't have it all their own way, but they managed to run out the game strongly. We'll get to Hilly in a moment. He'll have one of the Pies players with him as we go through the goal kickers to full time. And for Collingwood, a whole host of multiples here. 3 goals to Fasolo, Blair and Lynch, to Callum Brown and Gallucci. and Crocker, and singles to Dacos, Hellier and Wellings. And for Sandringham, 4 goals to Tom Lamb, all in the second quarter. Singles to rest Seckle, Hayden, Hill and Owens, as they didn't score a goal in that final quarter. Just the 3 behinds, 8 goals, 3 in that final term for Collingwood. They really did put the foot down. And that's all done and dusted here. All done and dusted at Whitten Oval. And Port Melbourne officially playing finals, although they were pretty much there already. They knock out Footscray from the finals race. 15-12-102 to Footscray, 11-10-76. We'll get to Collingwood's percentage in a moment too as we take a look at the ladder. Let's go down now to Glenn Hill, who's got a very happy Collingwood player with him.
Certainly do, Pete, and Ben Crocker just joining me, and congratulations, man, on a great game.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, it's a good way to win heading into finals. I think the team's looking really good at the moment, and I reckon this is the year that we could probably do big things.
Going into half-time, Sandringham had a big second quarter, and the message was that we weren't sort of playing a Collingwood-style football. What was said at half-time? You came out in the third quarter and really delivered.
I think we were just probably a bit lazy and expect we play, and started off all right, but then we kind of just let them control the game, and Riv was pretty strong about getting back to terms, and we finished off really well.
You certainly did an absolute massacre in terms of goals, consecutive goals towards the end, and I can't let you go without talking about that mark and how's the body feeling afterwards.
It's funny, like we get the marking bag out, and we haven't been doing that for a while, so I'm doing that during the week, and I haven't really done that in a while, so I'll be getting into Howie about it.
Well, we certainly think it was one of the marks of the year, if not the mark of the year, so congratulations on that personally. You guys get to go away, watch a couple of more results roll in this afternoon, but there's a huge chance you could end up in the top 4, and you're well placed, and it's been a great second half, or it's been a good year all round, but great second half of the year for you guys.
I'm not too sure about who has to win and lose for us, but we've put ourselves in a good position to make top 4 and get the second chance, and we're back and enjoying the next week, and hopefully going into finals with some good form, and hopefully do well.
Beautiful. Thanks again for your time on VFL Live, Ben. It's always a pleasure to have you on, mate, and go and enjoy the win in the rooms.
Thanks, mate.
Nicely done. Thank you, Hilly, there with Ben Crocker, Mark of the Year contender, aspirant. Braggart just about home, you reckon, with what we saw today, although he's got some stiff competition. McClarty's one was sensational as well. So, just repeating, win here for Collingwood, win for Port Melbourne over Footscray. We'll get the other live scores as they go around too. We've got the ladder to come. We'll look ahead to finals next week, even though the picture not quite there as yet. But still, as Sandringham slowly leave the ground. But for Collingwood, they're all out there. They're in a little bit of a sort of a huddle formation. There's friends and family around and having a nice chat. I think there's some autographs being signed out there as well, and that's great too. I mean, this is what you want to see from the Pies, and they're rewarding the fans who have made the trek out here to Victoria Park this afternoon.
Pete, I think it's important to note that after we were calling the Collingwood Box Hill game, the man that we just spoke to there, Ben Crocker, who'd just gone through a heartbreaking loss on a cold afternoon at Box Hill, was being swarmed by kids, signed all of the autographs that he was asked for as he made his way to his car, and every one of the kids walked away with a massive smile on their face.
Absolutely. So, let's have a look at what the picture looks like here. So what we know is Collingwood is in 4th position on the Peter Jackson VFL ladder for the moment. Matches to come will decide whether they stay there. So if Williamstown beats Casey in the match coming up in about 15-20 minutes time, then Williamstown will go back into 4th spot. If Casey beats Williamstown, then it's Collingwood in 4th spot on the ladder. We also know that Footscray is out of contention for the finals for 2018, and it means Port Melbourne definitely playing finals. Where are they notionally now? 7th position?
Yeah, they won't go any higher.
Or no one can catch them either. So they will stay in 7th spot on the ladder.
Locked in.
Also, congratulations to Nick Larkey, who, unless there's a massive bag of goals in some of the other games, will take out the Frosty Miller medal. Lyle not able to just make up that goal difference, and Larkey still in action down at Werribee. I'll give you a score from there at the moment. It is quarter time. 5-2-32 is Werribee. North Melbourne 3-7-25. So 32 plays 25. Werribee leading North Melbourne there. And I'll get you a score from the other game that's underway, and that is Essendon and the Northern Blues. Just bear with me for a moment. Essendon 46, Northern Blues 30. So they're into the third quarter there. You can hear the crowd cheering all the Pies players as they make their way into the room.
And Pete, as important as the result, Tyson Goldsack got through. We don't believe there's been any issues there. Good to see him back, and also Flynn Appleby.
Yes, they're the two players, and the good news for Pies fans is they've got a game next week in the Peter Jackson VFL. Yep. So they'll be playing finals. They're under the pressure of finals, but it means with the week's break for the AFL, well, not to say that he can't come back, because at least he's going to get the run the legs, and ran out the game really well. And I was particularly impressed actually with Flynn Appleby and his performance today too. Tough season for Sandringham though, and they were just blown away in that final term. So let's take a look at the remaining games, team, while we slowly finish off our broadcast. We've got about 8 or so minutes before we finish up for this afternoon, and this one done and dusted, Collingwood. But we also have, starting in around 12 minutes or so, Box Hill and Geelong. So let's just get what's required here, Box Hill and Geelong. So what does it mean now for Box Hill, whether fourth place is still in play or not for them? Question mark. I don't know. I've got bits of paper everywhere. I can't work this out.
No.
Nilly, what are you doing over there?
Well, they can't make top 4.
At the moment, it looks that way, that Box Hill can't make top 4, and they might be up against it today too. Geelong have had such a great second half to the season, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if Geelong got the win there today away. So
Geelong, Box Hill, Frankston, Richmond. Equation simple for Richmond. Win and, well, definitely be second spot, but win and percentage and everything else. Hope the Casey lose, and they'll have the minor premiership.
Well, I couldn't see the Tigers dropping that game to Frankston. And
percentage doesn't really matter, does it?
Percentage doesn't really matter, but they're just obviously the most classiest team in the competition, and I would say they'll win that game probably in excess of 80 to 90 points.
And then the TV game is Casey and Williamstown. Do we put up a case for Williamstown here, team?
Oh, we certainly do. Williamstown have had probably one of the best second halves of the season, and I think they've been ultra impressive, and had an opportunity to see them 3 or 4 times, and they've really built into the season. They've looked a little shaky, I suppose, early on, but once they sort of found the spots for some of their newer players that they incorporated into the team this year, they've certainly one team that have got better as the year's gone on, and I could see them possibly winning that game today.
Yeah. No, with Casey, isn't it? Is that shellacking that they copped last week? Is that a kick that they needed to get them going again, or is it a sign that they're in a bit of strife?
They just have a few out as well, which is a bit of a worry. I see Baker's been injured, and then I'm just a little bit concerned about them going into the finals, which you shouldn't be considering they're on top at the moment. But just that belting last week just makes you second guess them a little.
One thing that they will have, gentlemen, for the first time in a very long time, is that they will have the pleasure of having their AFL side rolling through the finals. So for all these years that Casey have been finishing top 2 and not making it...
How many years have we said it?
Yep.
We talked about it.
Yep.
It certainly makes a big difference. When your senior AFL team is in the final series and the VFL team is also in the top echelon of the VFL teams, the confidence and the feeling around the club lifts, and I know that that'll be a huge factor for Casey in the finals.
Richmond, Footscray, Box Hill, I mean, we see it time after time. There's no secret to this.
No.
They all come out, and it's just, you have the whole spirit, the whole group's playing. You're not sort of the AFL groups, they're off doing whatever they need to do, and the VFL keeps going all the other way around. This very much is a united front that we're seeing these clubs here, And it's true. And the success we see from Richmond now, we've seen it for years with your mob, the Hawks. It just flows through to both programs.
And I think now we're seeing it with Collingwood. It's taken some time for the VFL squad to really get cohesive, but they have this year. And obviously the same with the AFL team. They haven't registered a finals appearance for a few years, and they're obviously one of the better teams in the competition.
Right, let's put it on the line before we head into finals next week. Who wins?
I'm sticking with Richmond. I think they've been the best team all year, and also too I think they'll have the best depth in the finals.
Leedsy?
I'd like to put up a logical argument for that, Peter, but I'm finding myself struggling.
I thought you were going to say Box Hill.
The only proviso perhaps is I just think Geelong are in ripping form at the right time of the year, and perhaps depending on how far their AFL side can carry themselves through, they might just be the one outside the Tigers.
Stoney, over the past couple of weeks, has been talking about a team from that bottom four of the top 8.
I probably can't see it happening this year. I think the top 4 this year have been a little stronger than the bottom 4 of the top 8, but that's just my personal opinion. But
I can make a case.